Welcome to the D-Line.
Illegal contact, number 51, Senkutsu elbow thrust to the up back, Orimawatsu roundhouse lunge kick to the quarterback, Takatami insword block to the, shoot, never mind, 15 yards, first down.
Live football podcast on the Disruption Network.
You just got the feeling that he smelled the 8-hole and then got it in the end zone.
You find out life's this game of inches. So is football.
And now, here's your hosts, Chicken, Caleb, and Sil.
But they are who we thought they were. And we let them all talk.
What's up, everybody? And I got nothing. Hello?
Hey, okay.
Check in.
There we go. Evening,
There we
everybody.
go.
We're in it.
How you guys doing?
Secret button I didn't know about.
Oh, we're in it. We're here. We are. We're here to do it. Only wouldn't be our show without
So,
some technical failures. You know?
Nobody may have heard the intro.
No, they did. It was just the headphones.
Oh, okay.
It was just the
All right.
headphones that we weren't hearing.
Good.
So they're here us going, hello, hello, hello.
Which they're used to now.
I know, right?
Fuck it.
That's awesome.
What did Chicken fuck up again?
I fucking love this place.
Oh man.
Welcome to the D-Line, everybody. I'm your host, Chicken. Caleb and Sil tonight.
What up?
Here we are.
Just the trio again tonight. You can catch us up on Facebook Live, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, YouPorn, RedTube, all those.
FatGirlsDancing.com. Anything you want.
Anything you want.
Gentlemen, how are we?
We're good.
Good.
Yeah, we had a little warm weather yesterday. It was nice, but
Yeah, for like till
fuck,
about like
it's miserable.
till about 12:30. It was great weather. It was like 70 degrees until like
Oh, I loved
12:30,
it.
and then
Loved
it just
it.
dropped.
Yeah, it was gone quick. If you were up late in the day, you didn't see it at all. So it was like an epiphany.
Yeah, I know. It was like, oh, we had nice weather for about 15 minutes.
Yeah. It'll come, and then pretty soon it'll come again to be football season.
Yeah, I'm hoping, for the Heart Walk, we have good weather. Like I said, we're putting a team together on the Disruption Network.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that. Has anybody else joined besides me and you?
I don't know yet. We got to find that out. I haven't looked down there in a couple days.
And you know what fucking kills me? When I signed up, it says minimum $25. So I who else wouldn't assume? All right, it's $25 to get your bib, right?
Mhm.
Turns out I found out it's $30.
Yeah, it's $30 this year.
So I have to make another because you can't make a bib. You can't make a donation less than $25. I've got to make another $25 donation. No, not that there's anything
It's not the
wrong
worst
with
thing.
that.
It's not the
No,
worst thing.
It's going towards a great cause, but
yeah.
But well, you could also get that in sponsors. So if somebody wanted to sponsor you another $5, you're good.
right. Well, hopefully somebody, I posted the link on Facebook, and I'm hoping somebody hits under my account.
That's the thing is, you don't have to put it up just yourself. You can get sponsors, and people can sponsor you and
Right.
donate money for you,
Right.
and that'll count
Yeah.
towards your registration and
Right.
whatnot. So if somebody, like let's say your mom or whoever wants to put an extra $5
Your mom.
in, your mom.
I would shit if Mike's mom or like Sil's mom posted.
Hey!
Actually,
go.
I think my mom might be walking with us.
Oh, cool.
That day, so she might be out there with us. Somebody's got to drive home.
So most sober.
We're gonna be Well, see, that's the thing now. This year, because it's not gonna be just us. It could be others. I don't know. What's the situation at my house at this point? Should we just go meet at the?
Well, we're going to your house, baby.
I feel like you got to keep the
I'm gonna wake up.
tradition going.
I'm gonna wake you up in the morning again.
A lot of fucking randoms.
Pounding on your door.
A lot of
"We're
randoms.
here."
A lot of randoms will be there. You'll be like, what the fuck
This
are you
dude is
doing?
like,
Well, normally I make the nice breakfast. Last year it was the breakfast sandwich buffet. Year before it was the breakfast burrito buffet.
Oh, wow, that's a good time.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's good
Bacon
stuff.
ain't cheap anymore either.
no.
We got to cap this
Well,
guest list.
The key is you got to get the Aldi's bacon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Tim
Applewood.
the Tim Sweezy special.
It's like $3.50.
Yeah, but it's good shit.
Yeah.
It
Oh
really
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
In
I can't complain.
but so we go to his house and it's fucking cold. This is like about 2-3 years ago. It's so cold. We're pounding out there. Our beers are getting cold and pounding on the door, and he's not letting us in. We're like, what the hell, dude? Banging away. Finally, he wakes up. He was out cold.
Tough
sleeping.
night the night before. Tough go over the night
Fucking
before.
really bad. Fucking in bed by 5 a.m.
Fuck.
And then we're like walking halfway to the college, and he realizes he locked himself out
Of his house.
of his house.
Well, I forgot my bib, so I got to go back to the house.
But you're locked out.
I was locked out. Fucking had to break into my own house. Luckily, our buddy John Patterson, right as I'm breaking in, he's like, you need a hand? I go, wait right here. I run in, grab my bib, hop in his truck, and he takes me up to the couch.
Thank God. Oh, man, that could have been deadly.
Todd just checked in. He goes, so congrats, you're the new board op. There are too many buttons. I don't get it.
No kidding. Oh, man.
Well, and the thing is, all right, in my defense, all right, there's so much stuff, and then, like, every other day it changes.
Yeah.
Right.
There's something new going on, and so I'm like, all right, I got to do this. Oh, wait, that's gone.
They're
So
still
now-
refining the process.
So now I got to do that. Wait, that's different. And then he's like, well, you got to look for this button. Well, that button's not here. Like,
you need like a fucking manual to run this thing.
Well, how about the other day? Like,
I like that they color coded the mics too for
yes,
you.
that is
that was a
definitely
good job,
helpful.
Todd, on that one.
And it's
So
like,
remedial, but so great.
well, because like the count here with the mics didn't match up with the board.
Right.
So all the times I'm like, but I'm on 5. I got 5. That's not the 5 mic, and I'm like, what the hell?
5's turned on. Just bang buttons until it works.
and then you know, like last Friday, you know, we were on EC Radio. And we had Cassidy on and Old Main. And actually, I'm sorry, that was Thursday. And after the show, like probably about the good first half hour, we had no audio.
Oh, shit.
No audio. Z didn't pot up one of the pods. And I'm like, yes, it's not just me.
Finally Z fucked up. Finally Z fucked up, right?
It's like,
Awesome, good stuff.
It's not just me, man. It happens. But another thing I do want to mention, too, tomorrow I will be on with Tommy Drama for Back Talk.
Oh.
Time and drama.
From 11 to new time on Fridays, 11 to 1. Big show tomorrow. He's going to have Tucker Rosemeyer from Slice Pizzeria talking about the documentary that our boy Todd is going to be working on.
Okay, cool.
I believe it's called Search for Your Soul. And it's going to be really, really cool. It's about the Aboga plant in the Ibogaine and how it could be used to, you know, help people with addictions and whatnot.
It's a good cause.
Wow,
Yeah,
awesome.
Really, really excited.
Tucker's a good dude.
Yeah, and I'm
Tucker's
waiting to
good
hear
dude.
it from his mouth and see his perspective. Unfortunately, they met here last week while we were on the air.
Yeah.
And so I'm still kind of playing catch up to see what's going on, but I'm really, really
You
excited.
love that game.
And I know Todd's really, really excited about this too as well.
Sure,
you know.
definitely.
So that's awesome for everybody involved. We want to get the word out, and
Yeah, I shared the link.
and thank you for donating. By the way, we do have a GoFundMe page.
I didn't do it for that.
No, and we just want to say thank you to everybody that wants to get involved and donate to the GoFundMe page. Because this is going to help. This affects so many people in this country, especially in this city right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. So.
I'm really, really excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, definitely. Tucker's a good guy too, man. Makes good sliced pizza over that slice.
And
They
Todd
make
just
good
wrote,
food.
"Oh God, you're the board up on Back Talk. There goes Back Talk. Oh yeah, there's gonna be all kinds of that fuckery.
You and the little Italian are gonna start bitching at each other the
now
entire show now.
I can.
I totally want to crash Tommy's show one time.
I'm just gonna mute him.
Because he fucking that one day we had him in here, he just took over the D line. I was like, oh man.
He was fucking. He was on fire that day.
Yeah, he was.
Oh man, we were all hungover though. We needed that.
It was a great Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
You got me a little fired up though.
Was that the chili day? Yeah, I
Yes.
made chili
Yeah,
that
it
day.
was chili day. Yeah.
That was a Saturday during the remodel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
yeah, everybody was painting around. Yeah,
we
he was
kind
painting around.
of had to set up a studio real quick, and then do the show, then tear it down and bring everything back out into here.
Yeah.
But we got it done, man.
Yeah, it was
great.
awesome. Teamwork.
Got done.
And it was a
It
fun
got
show,
done.
like you said. It was a fun
It was a
show.
good
Yeah.
time. It was a good time. Look, you know who else is having a fucking good time? It looks like he's having a good time in Vegas.
Oh yeah. You know where he's
Fucking A,
staying?
man. The D.
The D.
The D. Yeah. They wonder who's got the rates on that. So.
They do, apparently.
Yeah. Right. Shit. No, he looks like he's having a good time. So, how about some football, though, gentlemen?
Yeah.
I'm missing it. I'm
so-
missing football.
So, let's start off with, let's work our way up the ladder. Let's start off with the Cleveland Browns.
Oh man.
Josh Gordon apparently is not going to be just a free agent. He's going to be an exclusive rights free agent,
Okay.
which means only the Cleveland Browns have the ability to offer him a contract. So it could be for the league minimum. They could really fuck him.
That's hilarious.
And so his only option, side with the Browns or sit out for the season.
wow, really?
Wow.
Yep, that's his only option.
Another season sitting out, huh?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds like. Does that sound like slavery or no?
Well, it's if he had played 6 games this past year, He would have met the minimum requirements, but he only played 5.
I didn't see that, but you know what? He's got to take what he can get, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'm mad because I was actually hoping that, from what I saw him play, I'm like, I would love the Bears to grab him.
Be a great fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a wide receiver.
It would have been better
team.
with Cutler. They could have shared a joint together.
Right.
Some cigarettes.
But no, he's a great talent. And you know what? It's not like this kid was doing coke. It's not like this kid was doing like steroids and shit. He smoked a doobie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but to repeat, my biggest problem with Josh Gordon is repeat.
Well, what's his name there? From Miami. Remember he quit for a couple years? The running back.
Ricky Williams?
Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's like, okay, and Ricky Williams quit, then admitted that he liked to smoke weed, but then tried coming back in the league. You dumb bastard. You're going to get tested like all the time.
They're going to test you. Yeah.
I mean.
Red flag.
If you got millions of dollars, I love to smoke bud. Newsflash,
sure. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna put millions of dollars in front of me in a football contract, and you got a short period of time to like make that money,
right? Sure.
Which
you can light up all you want after those 4 years are done.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you got. I've worked for companies where you can't smoke.
Sure.
You get random drug tests, and you got to quit.
Right.
It's just the way it is. But I'm not getting paid millions of dollars either.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like you
do it once and just stop. Just stop.
You get paid millions of fucking
yeah.
dollars to say stop smoking weed for a few years. Yeah. I mean, what's the life expectancy of a wide receiver? 5-10 years?
Not even.
Sure. If you're one of the lucky ones that make it 14 years, okay, fine. At 40 years old, you're smoking blunts all day long.
Right.
Yeah,
you fucking.
If you're Mike
got
Wallace,
one between each finger.
If you're like a Mike Wallace or something.
You're
like
living
that.
like Snoop Dogg now. You know.
It doesn't make sense to me. That's the thing. I don't. I'm not huge. I haven't really thought about my stance on.
You're not huge at all.
Oh, man. I haven't really thought about my stance on whether it should, what should or shouldn't be banned. But at the same time, it's just my problem is you're what they call a habitual offender. Like, why do you keep doing it? Just stop.
Like you said,
please.
Like, enough's enough, dude. Like, time to get your shit straight, make your money.
Sure.
Dude. And he's an amazing talent, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he gets this problematic person because it's habitual.
Yeah.
I mean, he could make the case that okay, it's a problem, which we all know is bullshit. But nowadays they don't look at weed quite the same. But I don't think he's a risk for a team to take.
No, I don't either.
He is as far as being habitual, and then next time he's out, and you could give this guy a contract, he fuck up, boom, he's gone.
Right. Yeah, that's how he's
that's
screwing
the
it.
risk.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of it's like Reuben Foster with the 49ers, the linebacker they drafted in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
They told him, John Lynch went to him and gave him his word and said, we believe in you and we want, we're fully on board with you and we want you to, be our middle linebacker for the next 20 years. And he gets arrested twice
within a couple of weeks or something like
in
that.
On big charges too.
Yeah, one's like, I mean, he got hit with I think it was almost about $75,000 to $100,000 in bail alone. You know what I mean? That's a drop in the pool, but at the same time, it's like, what are you doing? Just stop. Just sit at home and watch the money stack up. Go work out. Fucking A.
Stop beating up chicks.
Yeah, exactly.
You just got 4 years. You just got to calm down on hitting chicks.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna hit all the chicks you want after 4 years.
Go nuts. Come on. Just figure it out. Do us a favor. But. I mean, on a lighter note, too, I saw it today. Adam Vinatieri re-signed. He's going to come back. He's 45 years old. He's coming back for another season. He's 50.
You're jumping from the bottom to the top. I was going to, like Giants and then Bears, work our way up the ladder.
Colts were down there. The Colts are shit this year.
He doesn't want to talk about the Jets in, two more rounds.
The Kirk Cousins.
Oh, my God. What I read is just gross. It's going to change free agency for fucking ever what the Jets may do. And I want to punch them. Offer Kirk Cousins a fucking fully guaranteed contract.
Yep.
No, you will ruin. No, not ruin football, but you'll ruin free agency. It will just be all right. The highest bidder and fucking guaranteed money and guys playing like shit. I'm cashing in. I don't care if I play like a fucking asshole or not. Yeah. I just made fucking $120 million for 5 years.
Yeah. I'm not a huge.
And you can cut me after 3. Guess what?
I can't buy it.
Can you say Tommy Harris?
Right?
Albert Hainsworth?
Yeah.
These are guys that quit right after they got their contracts.
Huge contracts. Yeah. Brock Osweiler.
Well,
he got a huge contract, and then
Brock didn't quit though. And I said this before, and I'm going to say it again because
tried over and over and over.
Brock Osweiler had 7 games.
Yeah.
Under a system that was already set for him.
Sure.
stellar defense. You know what I mean? And then he goes to Houston. And Houston's one of those places that no quarterback has succeeded except for Deshaun Watson. I mean,
and the jury's still out.
Name me a quarterback. Matt Schaub was probably the best quarterback in history. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not good.
That's so fucking true.
It is true.
That's so
it's
fucking
true. And so like, and every year they get in the playoffs, they're usually playing with like their third string quarterback. So he goes to this team and he only plays 1 year. Not many people could go their first year to a new team at the quarterback position and do great,
right?
No.
Especially with minimum amount of experience that he's had. Who knows if you go back the next year, if under the same system, playing with the same players, getting a little more comfortable, had he done better? But nope, they shipped him off to Cleveland, which Cleveland's a clusterfuck anyways. So they go to Cleveland. He doesn't play. I didn't think he did that poorly in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I think he should have started in Cleveland from day one and then let Deshaun Kaiser develop behind him a little bit. But no, they don't give him. They give it to Kaiser, and they're back and forth and back and forth.
Right.
And this kid never really got a chance to put his roots in and to learn a system and develop.
Yeah.
He made the mistake of leaving for free agency, signing the big name. He could have been the heir apparent to Brady because look at now, he's back there and they got nobody.
Yeah.
So he could have
Not
been
Brady.
Peyton. Sorry.
There you go.
Stay in the system, and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And he could have, developed under there. He had that defense to bail him out.
Yeah.
Knew the system, knew knew the coaches, knew the other players. It would have been better for him to stay where he was.
Sure.
And I think if they go with him this year,
We boring you?
No, I'm sorry. My bad. I don't know why I did that. Came out of nowhere.
The quarterbacks that they got on their roster right now, unless they go and find somebody new or draft yet another one, because the other two guys got were like one was a first round pick, right? And the other one was Simeon was like what, a second or third?
Oh, Simeon was deep in the draft.
Denver's, with McCarron coming out now, Denver's going to be in the hunt. There's two good quarterbacks right now. As free agencies goes, I'd have to search through. Sam Bradford is with Keenum the free agency.
Yeah, the whole Minnesota quarterbacks, all of them are. Today too, Buffalo said they're comfortable paying Tyrod his roster bonus to keep him on the roster.
Oh, good.
And then try to they would probably try to
sign and trade.
Because they're comfortable. He's owed like $6 million.
They got a lot of faith in the trading system. With this is going to be a good draft.
Well, and here's the thing:
it's opened up. Trades have opened up with the new collective bargaining agreement they signed last year. Trades have opened up. You can make there. You never saw trades in the NFL before.
Right.
It was never really a thing, and it was definitely if it was going to be a trade, it was a pick for a player. It was never a player for a player. You're going to start to see them. This trade deadline was actually pretty busy.
Yeah.
For the NFL compared to years past, nobody really ever even knew about the trade deadline in the NFL in the past.
Right.
Nobody really thought about it. You know. And I mean, now it's going to really the trade wins are
adding 2 more weeks
going,
is going to be great, especially for teams that they're doing good or they're on the bubble. They're going to make that extra push to try and get a player that might take them over the top.
Sure, exactly.
Well, and I think now more people are going to go for the sign and trade because otherwise Tyrod Taylor leaves. I know. They get nothing. Yeah. They get nothing for him. So they sign him, trade him. At least they get something for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're looking at with Kirk Cousins. They could have let him walk, but now they want to sign, which I think is just dirty play.
Oh yeah, it is totally.
It's something like out of Al Davis's playbook right there. What he did with the Marcus Allen and all that.
I'd like to find out what happened there. Why there's such a disconnect in that front office there. Because notice they've kind of had it with both. They drafted Cousins and RG3 in the same draft.
Same draft.
And what's funny is I actually felt better about the Kirk Cousins pick than I did about RG3. RG3 was the
He had a lot of upside, but a lot of downside kind of thing.
He was a sports car. The sports car. Whereas I thought Kirk Cousins was more the SUV.
Well, it's like Lamar Jackson coming out now. Bill Polian.
He came out of the closet.
The old Colts owner GM.
Yeah, Bill Polian.
He thinks Lamar Jackson's going to be a better wide receiver than he will be QB in the NFL.
And people are like,
Joe
really?
Pryor.
I think he's drunk.
Well, you see that a lot though. Like a lot of people are like,
I think Lamar Jackson's going to be a big fucking hit in the NFL. He
well could be. Yeah. But then again, look at some of the guys. Like you just said,
he's 6'3". Bill Polian thinks he's too short to play the what?
We had Randall L. Remember him?
Right.
He went from quarterback to wide receiver. Cam Meredith on the Bears.
Randall L. didn't fucking stick around that long. He was only a 2-year flash in the pan.
He's played more than 2 years.
I know he did, but you didn't hear of him
and
after.
wasn't
after
Hines
Cooper's.
Ward a quarterback at some point?
I don't know.
Randall Cobb was at Kentucky.
There's a lot of them out there. Hell, Zach Miller,
Right.
tight end for the Bears, was a quarterback. at some point.
Prior, I mean, Braxton Miller, the wide receiver for the Texans.
But these guys, they look at it like it's some sort of punishment or
Right.
you know,
right.
like
We're trying to utilize your athleticism. I get it.
Yeah.
and some guys are just better at a different position. I always felt like maybe Tebow wasn't best at quarterback.
Yeah,
But I think he had a
tight end.
value to a tight end. Yeah, tight end or
It's just
fullback.
if their
or-
heart's not in it, and you know other teams did try him at other positions. If their heart's not in it,
but if
they're not going to give you 100%.
and that's the problem. Then that's why Tebow's out. If a true football player, and like the best person I've ever heard say this was J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt said, you know, because they had him out catching passes, they had him throwing a pass, all this shit, and he goes, "I train my body to do whatever I can, so they'll say, here, this is what I can do. You tell me what I need to do.
Right.
You put me to work."
Right.
And you know, you see what Mike Vrabel, you know, for years was the fullback and
Right,
the
and a
linebacker.
linebacker, right.
And that's one thing I did.
I get it.
I really liked about Belichick, what he would do. He wouldn't just base people on, well, this is your position, this is what you're going to do.
Yeah, you have to play this. Yeah.
You play who your best talent is.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
he had Troy Brown out there running as a DB.
Yeah.
And he did great.
I know. I know. It's just if for the guy who is stuck in one position mentally,
Yeah.
it sucks.
Missionary.
Reverse cowboy. Cowgirl shit.
Oh.
We know where Silver's at.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
Fuck. Like I'm gonna hear that shit.
Oh man. You took the shit too. Jesus.
I guess if you fist fuck me,
Yeah.
we'll be even.
I was like, he had to get the soundboard lined up.
Gay robot in the house.
Word up.
Fuck. Hey, Jesus. Man.
So
We're talking about people, like good people like Adam Vinatieri. You're talking about reverse missionary and shit like that. Like, fucking Christ.
reverse cowboy.
Hey,
he said.
What did it say, cowgirl? The wheelbarrow. All right, I gotta go get a beer.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Fuck.
So who was next on the? Are we done with Cleveland? 'Cause
Are we done ripping Cleveland apart for a little while or what?
I feel like Cleveland's going to have a lot of work to do in the free agency.
Yeah, they do. You know, but they're
They
bringing
do.
in
They
they're
got the
bringing in a lot
money.
of top guys. Yeah, they've got the money. You know, it takes one to two good real off seasons to get somewhere. I mean, Cleveland's had about 40 of them, but you know, I mean, this maybe they're righting the ship. You know, they do have, like you said, they do have the money. Hugh Jackson, who knows? You know what he's going to bring to the table. The last quarterback to win a game in Cleveland, it was the only win that Hugh Jackson's ever had was RG3. So, you know, what do you got a lot to do when you build too.
And I just feel like the Browns should either trade down their first overall pick or the fourth.
Yeah.
Great, because they got the fourth and the first, correct?
Yes.
So trade one of those down.
Yeah.
Get some more players. Is there anybody in the draft at number one that you think they have to pick? Like it's a home run hitter.
The fucking Browns have the highest cap space available.
Yeah.
For fucking next year.
You know what I'm like? So is there-
110 million out of 178. That's fucking gross.
Yeah. I mean.
Oh my god.
So they're gonna go shopping.
Yeah. To answer your question, Mike, I would say maybe Barkley. For me, like Barkley.
Do you
does
think
it.
you could get him at 4?
I don't know. Does he get past the Giants at 2? I don't know.
Maybe make a deal with the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, you could
Switch
go
up a
up.
spot.
I was going to talk about the Giants got Justin Pugh, O-lineman, coming up on free agency, big free agent.
Their
for them.
whole line was Pew.
Yeah. Dude, they're fucking old. What I like to call just fucking old timer jokes. It's just
Dad
awesome.
jokes.
I fucking love them.
Yeah, their whole line was Pew. Christ.
Dude, I still laugh about that fucking that UFC female fighter, Ronda Rousey. We were talking about boxing and her, and you go, man, I'd sure love to see her box. It's still funny to me.
Oh man, those are great though. Those are some of the best though. Those are the best. Like those are the best peas you'll have. Is like those ones because you're just like, wow, whoa, fucking A.
Tried really hard not to go dead air there, so I'm like snapping my finger.
Today, Junior.
Yeah, right.
Ronda Rousey. Oh man.
Yeah.
Want to see her box? What the fuck? What the fuck? You would say some fucking stupid shit like that, too, Shagan.
You were here.
I was probably drunk.
Yeah, it's usually the case. I like drunk Caleb. It's kind of
Right.
Fuck it. Oh man. But who are we talking about?
Justin Pugh and the Giants.
Oh, the Giants. I
They
mean,
need
the
they
Giants just
should
have a lot
re-sign
of
him.
holes.
well, the Giants
Yeah.
Cleveland potential of a trade type of thing.
I don't know. What if we just trade all full teams? See what the different coaching staffs could do. Fuck.
So
Giants should do better with the new coaching staff. I mean,
Yeah, they will be. They'll
they
be a lot
can't do
better.
any worse.
no, they can't.
They
really.
can't do
I
any
mean,
worse. I mean, for them, you got to go for that Barkley kid. You have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think he makes sense in New York. I mean, yeah, they've had a couple good running backs the last few years. Paul Perkins was pretty good. He was just okay. You know,
Darkwa was okay.
Darkwa, yeah,
But-
but Darkwa's a guy you could keep. You could keep Darkwa.
You can keep Darkwa.
Keep Darkwa. Play him as your number 2. It's a 2. I mean, we're looking at a 2, almost 3-back fucking league.
I'd get Perkins out of there. Bring in this kid, Darkwa. You know, like there might be another free agent out there that you could fill the
Maybe
spot
you
with.
keep Shane Vereen too to catch passes.
go for the home run hitter in the first round with the Giants, and then try and build up your O line.
Sure.
From then on.
Because it's like you look at their O line. I mean, Eric Flowers, #1 pick.
Yeah.
Garbage, absolute garbage. So when it comes to O line, I'm more of a fan of getting them in free agency. These are guys that know a system. They're used to playing in the NFL. You could get some pretty decent free agent, linemen. Going first round isn't always a home run. I mean,
No.
we as Bears fans, we've seen Gabe Carimi, Chris Williams, a bunch of them, and you pay them a boatload of money, and they never amount to a damn thing.
Troy Azine.
So, like with the Giants, I still like the idea that they at some point they're gonna start looking at Manning's replacement.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
And I don't think it's on their roster right now.
No, I don't think it's
No.
Davis Webb. I don't think they do either. But that goes back to the point of last year when we were talking about the whole Geno Smith thing. Is we don't know if he is really unless you watch the Giants' last game, the second half of their last game, because that's when Davis Webb played. You know, like we could have seen it for, see how he prepares for a full week and let him play when they went to Geno Smith, but he's not the answer. I mean, Davis Webb isn't the answer. If you don't believe in him to put him in that game, then fuck you. It's not going to work. So
I don't know. Giants, they have all the talent, really.
They
there.
do, man.
They have
That you look
so
at that
much
lineup,
talent.
it's just so good.
Receivers will be back fresh. Yeah.
Do you think Brandon Marshall comes back for another year?
I don't think so. I think he leaves. I think he goes somewhere else.
I think he's done.
You think he's done?
If he doesn't go back to the Giants, I think he retires and does a TV gig full time.
He likes the TV. I think he's kind of always been kind of setting himself up for that. That's what a lot of people have said about
Is
him.
he a free agent? Or?
Yes, he is a free
Did
agent.
they sign 1 year or 2 year?
Just 1 year.
They did sign
He.
1 year.
When I was looking through the list the other day, he is definitely a free agent.
Well, I don't think they re-pick him up.
It's such a shame because I know it's like an off year for him. He didn't do that great. But I mean, just 2 years removed from that stellar year he had in the Jets.
Right.
I mean, he was killing it. He was.
Yeah, the Bears let him go, and he had a great year.
Yeah.
They want to know what time the couch auction is.
I don't know.
Fuckers.
I don't.
Z and Todd.
I know.
It's $10,000. You come up with $10,000, you can have the couch.
What's the couch auction?
I don't. Yeah.
On EC Radio, these trolls been hitting us up asking what time the couch auction. We have no idea where it came from, who started it. It's just all these people are coming on asking what time the couch is. The couch auction is.
Okay. I have no idea.
Very random, very weird.
Sure.
What the fuck? That's fucking great.
It's
If
weird.
it's 10 minutes.
Although a chair auction would be bad. I mean, we got so many goddamn chairs in here. I'm looking around here. I'm like, there's so many freaking chairs in here. You go into the other room.
Whatever happened to that clock I brought in? Is that in the other room?
It's in the other room. We haven't put it up yet.
All right.
There's a mirror in the other room. I mean, everything's. But there's so many goddamn chairs in the other room. I'm like, wow, we don't have this many people to sit.
Start giving them away. Start giving them away to people who
Todd
come on the
said
show.
sold. $10,000 for the couch. Nice.
Jesus Christ.
We'll use the money for the GoFundMe for the trip to Africa.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm kidding. If you want that fucking couch, here's your way.
Absolutely. You got to donate.
Oh man, fuck. We're gonna talk about football now. Fuck the couch. Fuck the fucking couch. So should we get into some of these free agents here, or what? What do you think?
Wait. Oh yeah, we could.
Z says I want Caleb to fill the flip and fuck with his DNA, and I'll pay $1,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Gross.
Leave the keys. Leave the
Alrighty.
keys.
Well, the obvious, the biggest is Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be a Jet. I think he's going to be a Jet.
If the Jets pull that shit off with the guaranteed contract, I don't see
For how many years?
you could. Well, things I've been seeing, it's like 5 years for 120.
Yeah, that's probably about right. That's what, $22 million a year.
You know what though? I look at it this way.
$24 million?
They're going to offer him whatever it is, the guarantee, and you're going to see in like 2-3 years if his play falls down or if it's too much of a hit on the cap, he's going to restructure and for.
But he doesn't have to.
You don't have to
restructure.
restructure. It's guaranteed money.
I understand that, but they're going to ask him to, or they're going to cut him.
And he's going to walk away with all that guaranteed money and still be a cap hit on their fucking.
Yeah. But you know what the thing is?
That's why it's ridiculous.
I'm
That's
saying
why
if
it's
he
retarded.
totally tanks, and I get it, it's stupid, but
the reason I could.
it's stupid on the Jets' part.
He could literally just fucking show up naked, take a shit on the field, and they still owe him money. I mean,
hell, they pay Cutler.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Jay Cutler was a quarterback in the NFL last year. I mean, with Kirk Cousins, like, with the guaranteed money thing, here's my thing. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not like wildly against it. Like, I don't hate it. Here's, reason being is if we can get him at 5 and 120, I'm thrilled if I'm a Jets fan. And here's why. It's because that's a $24 million AAV a year. Okay, so. That's for a starting quarterback in the NFL. That's right in that's normal pricing now. That's the normal price tag for a starting quarterback in the NFL, really.
Right. Yeah.
So I think if you didn't give him guaranteed money, you're going to have to go even higher. If you don't fully guarantee, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's a business decision to actually in the end save the Jets money.
Right. So it's more of a security blanket versus paying a real total huge
amount
of money.
It's okay if I come to you with a contract for 5 years, $120 million, and I say, all right, 80 of it, or I'll give you, that'll be fully guaranteed. But if I came to you with a 5-year, $150 million contract, but I'm only going to guarantee $75 million of it, I think I'd probably take the fully guaranteed money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
well, he's already said that if they franchise him and if he gets traded, he's not going to sign a long-term deal with another club. So he's already deterring Washington from fucking from trying to tag him.
Well, because he could then be a free agent and go after that money.
Yeah.
Like, which he should deserve. I mean, by franchising him again, like, just let it go.
Right.
Like, you made your trade.
They'd have to pay him, I think, 140, they had to pay him 120%, or in the top
of the tag of
the
top 5.
Of the tag, yeah. So now this would be his third year, so it goes up even more. Now it's 144%.
It would be like in the 30 plus million, like 34 million or something like that.
Just let the kid go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, at this point, you got your guy, Alex Smith. You know what I mean? Yep. Let the kid go.
Franchise him. He signs, hangs out because he threatens not to sign a long-term deal with anybody. They got to pay him or cut him.
Yeah.
And he fucking makes 34 fucking million for fucking being
what?
a backup.
Yeah.
All right. Playing fucking helicopter on the sidelines.
Let me throw this out there, though. Alex Smith's best 2 years, okay?
Came behind him.
Well,
yes.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. So was when he was in San Fran when he had Colin Snapperneck behind him,
right?
And almost went to the Super Bowl that year,
right?
Then again last year when he had Mahomes behind him. Oh. So now if you bring him over to the Redskins, and you still got Kirk Cousins knocking on his door.
Somebody's pushing him.
So maybe they're thinking maybe they could get the best out of Alex Smith if you still have that threat of a takeover.
Yeah.
I don't think Kirk Cousins will ever in his life again wear a Washington Redskins football jersey.
I agree with that. But just to think about those two going head-to-head in training camp,
right.
Yeah.
Who wins that job? Cousins knows the system.
Given the animosity, I mean, I don't think I could let Cousins win the job. I mean, I know what you're speaking of hypotheticals. I also think Cousins is probably the better quarterback.
At this point, he's younger.
Yeah.
He's got more, but
it's like he screams. Kirk Cousins screams to me like he screams to me Alex Smith when he was in his free agent.
They're very similar in their talent. They're very similar, and I think I would actually have to go with Alex Smith. Has shown me more than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I would agree.
Alex Smith when he's being pushed, like last
from behind.
Year, yeah.
Alex Smith, one of the only quarterbacks ever to be traded twice. Never signed a free agent contract.
Right.
Just been traded twice. What does that say about him, though? You know what I mean? Like,
teams want him.
Yeah, teams want him.
Teams want him, but it's also he's always getting replaced by that new younger.
He's always in a, it also says teams want him, but somebody didn't want me.
You know who I felt
that's
like
what it says too.
It's like
there's a few guys out there that kind of fell victim to that. You know, like the next guy comes up and takes over, even though they're playing really well. And Charlie Batch always reminds me of that guy.
You know what they are? They're not bridge quarterbacks. They're just slightly better. They're like slightly better bridge quarterbacks. Like a bridge quarterback would be like your Josh McCown. Like get us over the next few years.
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
But they play better. But they're not Josh McCown. They're like Josh McCown is your prototypical. Is Ryan Fitzpatrick's another one? They're your prototypical bridge quarterbacks.
Right.
These guys are like not with those elite guys all the way up at the top, but they're in like that area where like it's.
McCown actually fucking played great.
Sure.
He surprised me. His arm got better.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about? Where I put those guys? I put them in like that area, that middle area where it's like, okay, well, we need a quarterback, but we can't get an elite quarterback. So it's like, you know what? Alex Smith could get us to the playoffs. We've got a good team here in Kansas City. We had a good team in San Francisco. He could get us to the playoffs, but he's never gonna. Could you imagine Alex Smith hoisting the fucking Lombardi Trophy? I can't.
Yeah, but Alex Smith never really had a chance to like let it fly either. He never really had a chance to develop as a quarterback. He was always had to dink and dunk.
Yeah.
You know, and then last year they told him go long. He threw the most long balls of anybody this year.
Yeah. Which is just like what he did when he was in college. That's the offense they ran at Utah.
And then you're like, wow, he can actually run.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's got some wheels, and he's not hurt very often. He's very healthy still. So, you know, you look at like even guys like Aaron Rodgers, they came out the same year. He's always.
You guys rip on me for Case Keenum.
But you gotta look at it though.
No,
these are facts. So when was the last time you seen Alex Smith hurt?
He's got a bromance
I mean,
going
maybe
on.
for a game or two. But
Yeah.
when was the last time he was out for a whole season?
No.
So
right.
you're
I
getting
can't
a
argue
very
it.
dependable guy out there who you put him in the right system. I bet you put him with somebody like what's his name down there in the Saints?
Bill Walsh.
No, Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
Bill Walsh.
So,
I just tried to totally fuck him up.
so you put him down with somebody like that who will allow him to throw the ball like Nagy did.
Right.
You know,
Sure.
They let him throw the
Sure.
ball around,
Yeah.
be a little creative. I think he has a way better year. So maybe who's the coach over there? It's Gruden, right?
Yeah, Gruden's brother. Yeah, Jay Gruden. How funny is that? He's always referred to as John's brother. Oh,
Yeah,
Sean's
right.
brother Jay. Nobody really knows his first name, but they're always like Gruden. Now you got to like actually specify. It sucks.
But what receivers does he have? What receivers?
Nobody. He didn't have anybody. You know, because Pryor was a bust.
Who do you have in San Fran?
Not
Davis?
much,
I don't remember that far back.
Yeah.
That was
Davis. That was about it. I
4
mean,
years ago.
he didn't
Yeah.
really have anybody.
Yeah,
stellar.
shitty Michael Crabtree at the time. Michael
Yeah.
Crabtree couldn't stay
Right,
on the
yeah,
field.
he couldn't
you know,
fucking catch a
that's-
cold back then.
Yeah, but you know, like, I mean, one person who has their whole career to thank for Alex Smith is Urban Meyer, because he was the one that put him on the map at Utah when they played together, or he was his quarterback at Utah, and that's when Urban Meyer blew up and went to Florida, and then went to making the millions of illegal dollars that he does at Ohio State. So,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if we didn't have Mitch Trubisky, I would be really, really happy for an Alex Smith.
yeah, absolutely. I would be.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the same thing as if I'm the
He's
Jets.
serviceable.
If I'm the Jets too, I would
Absolutely.
be thrilled too. I'd be thrilled to have Alex Smith.
I'd be
right
happy
now,
to have
you
Kirk
know?
Cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't think. But at the same time, I don't think. I think you're going to Washington for Alex Smith. Alex Smith kind of needs to go to teams that are established. Alex Smith is not really the quarterback that's going to come in with all these young wide receivers that the Jets have, and the young offensive shift that the Jets are going with, and be really successful.
Oh, you don't think so? What do you do in Kansas City?
I mean, well, there was an established team in Kansas City.
No, there was not.
They were
All those
pretty
guys are
good.
first and second year players.
Yeah, but I mean,
you got Tariq Hill, second year player.
yeah,
Who's his running back?
Kareem Hunt. I mean,
Kareem
those,
Hunt
but those are
rookie.
hits. Those are big hits.
A lot of those guys
are good
is
drafts.
wide receivers. Name me three of his wide receivers.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but a lot of his wide receivers, a lot of the Connolly's been in the league a little while, and like with the Jets, it's like Robbie Anderson, who
Well,
can't
he's
stay
gone.
out of jail.
He's gone.
So.
Forget about him. He's done.
Well, I don't know about that. He'll be
Well,
probably
if
our
you're the
number one
Jets,
next
you
year.
part ways. If you're the Jets, you get rid of him.
You have no other receiver.
You get one in free agency. You get one in the draft, but you separate yourself from that guy, especially with the charges that he did.
Yeah.
He got arrested twice in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and a lot of drug charges. You cut ties with that dude,
Kicking the shit out of a cop too.
and he's looking at suspensions too. So he might be suspended for most of next year.
You never know.
So you cut ties with that dude. You're
Yep.
done.
Yeah.
Out. So you go out after somebody else. maybe it is a Josh Gordon. Well, Josh Gordon can't.
And the wide receiver class just got worse because Jarvis Landry just got tagged by the Dolphins. So that sucks.
Yeah, they jumped on that right away.
Yeah.
Well, look for a that might be another tag and trade too.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are going to hold their cards. They want to hold these players for the draft.
Yeah.
You know, see what happens in the draft. Maybe they can make some waves
Positioning.
With so now like Miami might be able to trade Landry to the Giants, which I doubt, but like maybe the Browns or somebody like that.
Right.
And have something like a bartering tool.
And you've got a proven commodity. The draft, no one's proven.
Right.
These guys have never played in the NFL. You know, that's the one thing people always have to remember is it's sports. Any sport comes down to good front office scouting and doing your research. You don't like they aren't just like they're sitting here like if we were building a team, we'd be like, oh well, like, you know, we really like to have Jarvis Landry on my team. I'll go out and do that. Like, no, you take into account a lot of things, and I think that's one of the most important things to even think about in the draft. It's you have to see everything these guys do and evaluate and put a grade and make someone and show someone else what you think is wrong with a guy or what's good about a guy.
I think maybe the Bears are one of the teams that they might be looking at to do a sign and trade with somebody like Landry, who's been like talking about going to the Bears for a while. And I think a trade of Mike Glennon and Josh Bellamy for Landry would be a great deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure it would be. Yeah. They were talking. I saw a report the other day. They were talking about Glennon and like how much money they would save if they cut him. I was like, $11.5 million they can save if they cut him. Like, what are you gonna do?
What's up, Longwood? How you doing, buddy? Haven't heard from you in a while.
I don't know what the fuck. Where you been, bro?
You can't send naked pictures at the moment, so.
The text line.
Yeah, we gotta get that back up soon because I need some boobies.
Yeah.
All I gotta look at is these dicks.
I wouldn't be complaining.
Giggity.
If I was looking at me.
I am.
Damn. Yeah.
But yeah, I think like a play for like the Bears for wide receiver. Like, I think that's what Washington's setting up for is a trade. You know, like a big. You know, who needs a quarterback? Who's willing to give up? Arizona might be willing to give up somebody.
Yeah.
You know, who, I don't know, but who they got the trade or a draft pick.
You got to give up, you know, if they franchise him, you've got to give up 2 first-round picks. I mean, that's a fucking lot.
Yeah.
It is.
Lot. Who has 2 first-round picks?
It's 2 first rounds for a guy who is not going to sign a long-term deal with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So
I mean,
no.
it's not worth it. I don't think I've ever seen it. Has it ever? I don't think it's ever happened either. Because like here's the thing: would you even consider doing it for a guy like Le'Veon Bell?
Well, he's already told him he's not gonna fucking sign it, and so he'll sit the year.
Who?
Bell.
Yeah.
He's
if you're the Giants, I would.
I mean that kills your franchise. You have to figure that, like, you know, a first round hit, a good player in the first round that you hit on.
But it's Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, but
how many players are you going to get in the draft?
Is he starting
you
to turn
fucking
the
work
corner?
out a fucking 5-year deal with this dude fucking right now.
Yeah,
right.
Is he starting to turn the corner though?
No.
And you know what? But you put him on a team like the Giants where, you know, you got Eli there. You got to threaten the backfield. You got somebody who can catch the ball out of the backfield. Okay. You could get rid of.
I mean, he's got to deal with. He's got till what, March 12th?
Yeah.
They've got till March 12th to sign him to a franchise tag. At that point, teams can fucking talk to him. You know, so something's gonna happen within the next couple of weeks. That's fucking obvious. Retard.
And you know what too? The other thing too is when you're talking about Le'Veon Bell.
I can't believe I said that. It's like it's fucking. It's fucking cold outside. No shit, Shamrock.
Well, with Le'Veon Bell too, you also have to remember. I mean, if he goes, does Ben Roethlisberger retire? He might say "fuck you."
No, because you still got AB. You still got AB out there, and you got Juju Smith.
Yeah, but he's
Roethlisberger's game's only dropped a little bit.
He's been kicking around retirement though. It's been out there the last 2 years.
He did that last when he said that this past season. Maybe I just don't have anymore. You know, he was just fucking with the reporters. I've seen him from day one. You know, he's just messing with the reporters. But that's another one they got to start looking for the next. Yeah. You know who's coming up next.
Yeah, I think it's.
Oh, you mentioned Charlie Batch earlier. Yeah. He had a resurgence with the Steelers.
Yeah,
and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
and he always did really, really well.
Yeah,
he was one of those guys that I just thought I really got a good chance, like good shot at it. Like when he was at the Lions, they played well.
Right,
they played really well, and then. You know, he got bounced out for Harrington. Then it was, you know.
Right. But it just seemed like when he got to the Steelers, the game slowed down for him, and then he could just pick where he wanted to go. He seemed really,
he played like Testaverde years.
Yeah, right.
And Testaverde was another one that he left Tampa and then where he looked like garbage,
right,
and then had a resurgence with the Jets in Baltimore,
right,
and
he finished with Dallas. I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I don't think he
bounced.
saw.
Everybody finishes on Dallas.
Yeah.
I
feel like that's so truly aging quarterbacks always go to Dallas. Like, just sit on the bench.
Dallas, or you'll see him at like the Raiders.
Drew Bledsoe,
like,
like that.
It's like
Drew Bledsoe. I know. Poor Drew got like bumped out for Brady and Romo. When you get outplayed by Romo, for crying out loud.
This week, picking the D-line picture of the week. I hit you guys up. Do we do the Dallas rip or make fun of the Steelers? And it's like, to me, it's always funnier to rip on the Cowboys.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why I was like, I want to pick the Cowboys here, but let me just see what you guys say.
Especially Dez.
So I'm gonna do the Steelers next week. I'm just gonna wait a week.
And I did read something about Dez Bryant's 3 landing spots. And it was like Cleveland. I forget whether, but the Bears were not mentioned.
Good. All right. Well, the article where I read that the Bears were a possibility was, just like an outlandish,
Usually what happens is like somebody becomes a free agent and they happen to be a wide receiver and they're like, oh, great place for the Bears. And be like, no, the fuck you wouldn't.
You hear that from every. I mean, when you see some of these, that's why it's kind of the fake news mantra, I guess you'd see, because you'll see like, 247bears.com reports that the Bears are really interested in Dez Bryant. Yeah. And it's like, this is like my roommate sitting at home writing this article for like, this website. It's like a college internship type thing. He's writing this article like, wouldn't it be great if Dez was a Bear? Like, here's how we could make it happen in no world that it's going to happen.
I so hate off-season articles because it's all fucking speculation. I deal in facts, and I fucking hate, and I really don't like it when we get in here. What if this? What if that? Who gives a shit? I don't fucking care. I want to know what happens. Let's discuss that.
Yeah.
So I don't read half of those articles. It's like, now that's the off season, I think I'm gonna unfriend 24/7 Bears Sports. He fucking picked it right on that. And 12 up, and
yeah, exactly. Those non-news outlets. And it's like
NFL memes though. You're still good. Don't worry about it, bro.
Exactly. We'll be there for you.
The 24/7 Sports. I do subscribe to that, and some of it's decent. Some of it, they'll take you through the training camp and shit like that.
Yeah, it gets the wheels turning. I mean, they it's not to say there's no substance to anything they say.
Right.
But they're not breaking the story.
Yeah,
they're not going to break a story.
They go all TMZ on you, like, oh, so-and-so is a free agent, so blah, blah, blah.
They're referencing Twitter posts. Like last night, Quentin Demps had a cryptic Twitter post about his future with the Bears. I read it, dude. It doesn't look like it has anything to do with Bears football.
Quentin Demps tagged himself in Miami today.
I'm like,
oh, God.
What the fuck? Good reach, guys.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's why you have to be really careful, like, because especially, your computer nowadays and the way technology is when you're on Facebook and they say, oh, who's your favorite football team, and you put that in there, those are going to start showing up in your posts, in your blogs. Because I have buddies that do this all the time. They're like, hey, did you see what the Giants are going to do? The Giants are like going to go out and they're going to get J.J. Watt and Brett Favre's going to come out of retirement and play quarterback for him. It's going to be great. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. Who's your source? And they're like, well, look at this news article. I'm like, this was written by a 3-year-old, and there's mistakes through the entire first line of it. So, that's like, those kill me. They kill me.
Yeah, Yahoo headlines, it focuses on your browsing history. And basically, so now my headlines are basically
Big Black Hawk.
3 fucking things. Fucking cryptocurrency, fucking Chicago Bears football, and the Marvel Infinity Stones.
Yeah. That's so fucking true, though. You know what I mean? Like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's true. That's why. Everywhere I go, it just comes up Big Black Hawk.
You guys totally loved it. Oh, I gotta fucking find that. Yeah, I know, right? Ted 2 was awesome.
That was one of the best sequel movies.
Yes, it
usually
definitely was.
Too.
I know.
No.
Yes.
Ted 2 was funnier than the first,
which is hard to do because the first was great. But
I didn't see the second one.
You didn't see the second one, so the whole time we're playing the Tom Brady jerking off in the solo cup.
All right, just go home, sit down, pull your pants off, watch the movie.
Yes. And another movie I got to tell people to watch is Swear Not.
Oh
my God!
Yeah,
dude. Laugh your balls off watching that movie.
Swear Not, made by the guys who do Trailer Park Boys, but they play themselves in the movie.
Yeah, dude, funny ass movie.
Oh man.
But
Play themselves.
so I guess
It's
we'll
a
get
pretty
back to this football talk.
Groundbreaking.
So where did we leave off on free agency?
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell. Let's go to DeMarcus Lawrence, D end.
I think he gets tagged. I think he stays in Dallas. I think he's
Yeah.
going to get a.
I don't think anybody really wants
Yeah,
franchise tag
he's
guys.
probably going to get tagged, and then they're going to let Bryant go. So
He's
Yeah.
always hurt too.
But
Yeah.
man, I mean, think about that though. He's like one of the
But
most
what helps Dallas
underrated
better?
players in the NFL.
Who?
Nobody really talks about him.
Who's that?
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Because he only had like one good year.
Yeah, well, but it was a damn good year.
he had 14.5 sacks last year.
I mean,
It's all right.
It's all right. It's not like
I'll take it.
I mean, well, dude, if he had 4 more sacks, you'd say that was great. So 14's pretty damn good. I mean, it's just under a hair a game.
But it's that show me again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you did it once. So that's why I think Dallas will franchise tag him. See if he can do it again.
Mhm.
It could hurt them, too, because if he can't do it again, well, no, it can't hurt him because if they franchise him, they only got 1 year. You know what I mean? So I think the franchise tag for him is the safest bet to go because if he goes free agency, he's going to get overpaid than what he's worth.
Is he going to get overpaid with the tag, though? He might.
Thank you for the beer, sir. Lovely Utica Club.
They may be better off signing him to a deal.
You think so?
Might
Nah,
save him a
'cause
little money.
If he's a one-hit wonder, right? And like last year, the year before, he was hurt. He didn't really perform that great. I mean, he's never.
Then a tag would be the best thing. But
That's what I'm saying.
I feel, yeah, a tag.
tag
I
him.
can't even argue. A tag would be the best thing if you want to try him out for another year.
If
see
you're
how it goes.
If you're him, you want the sign because then
I saw the sign.
you saw the sign. If you're him, you want to sign the deal because you want a longer term. You want that secured money or whatever.
Right.
But what's best for the team is you
Fucking
franchise.
opened up my eyes. I saw the sign.
You fucking dick.
I was like, what the fuck? Just go away. I was like, just waiting for it. And
Get out of my brain.
It stayed right there.
Anyhow, yeah, you franchise tag him as a team because that way you secured for only 1 year. So anybody else on that team looking to go? Because if I were them,
I'm just going through. We ran through Case Keenum. Jarvis Landry just signed a fucking deal. Nate Solder, left tackle for
if you're the Cowboys,
Patriots,
you want to start looking at replacing Sean Lee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he's decent when he's in the game,
Yeah.
but how often is he hurt?
he is that defense. Like exactly, how often is he hurt? He is that defense. He is somebody you really need to focus on replacing.
Yes,
I agree.
Get somebody in there that you
When
can
he's
groom
not
underneath him.
there, it hurts them bad. Fuck the offense. Fuck the running back. That team is a different team when he's not there.
Yeah.
Is Christian Jones on your list?
Who? Probably not.
Christian Jones.
Hang on. It's a slideshow, so it's like I got to click through individually.
Technically, he was on the practice squad at the beginning of the year for the Chicago Bears, and due to a lot of injuries to the linebacker,
Teddy Bridgewater's on it. Just saying.
he ended up having to
Hey,
start.
Cutler, what the fuck is? How is he one of the top 30 free agents? Oh, that's so gross.
But he had to fill in last year, so he started a lot of games for the Bears last year, and he played awesome. He played really, really well.
Well, he's probably a guy that then, if he was on the practice squad, he's probably got a deal to re-sign.
Well, he started a couple years. He started for a few years under John, or I should say John Troop, was the defensive coordinator for the Bears.
Marinelli.
No.
Oh, Mel
Shit,
Tucker.
Mel Tucker. Right. Exactly. See that face?
Hurts.
That's where that kid had to start under was Mel Tucker.
Yeah.
So you didn't have the right defense in. You didn't have the right personnel. You didn't have the right coaching. And then he finally gets under Vic Fangio, and he's killing it. He's playing great. So me personally, like now that the Bears let go of
Freeman,
and so they moved on from him, I say keep him. Re-sign
they
him.
should.
Christian
Yeah.
Jones, he knows the system. He played very well in it. And then you got
And he's a great backup to Kwiatkowski.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah.
and you still got Trevathan on there.
There's no problem there. Yeah.
McPhee will probably be gone. And then you got
Still got Young.
and Floyd.
Right. So, but obviously you're gonna have to get another inside backer at that point, and at least one more outside backer.
I'd say if Christian Jones was on a team that did better, like if the Bears won more games, he would have been in consideration for the Pro Bowl because his numbers were there. He was leading tackler.
He's solid, yeah.
And like
I
that
can't
was
argue.
always the case. I always felt like the kid had like potential. I never thought he was going to be stellar.
Yeah.
But I always thought he was going to be solid, and he's definitely turned into that.
Oh, he's solid.
Yeah, he's solid.
Oil him up.
But get him. I say keep him.
I wouldn't go that far, Caleb.
I say either keep him or if you're Dallas, you got to start looking at a guy like that. You're Dallas, and you got to look at a kid who can still play. Who filled in for, Freeman, Trevathan, those guys.
Jimmy Graham, tight end, Seattle.
I think he stays in Seattle. I don't think there's really a reason for him to leave.
It's probably his best bet.
No, actually, it's not. His numbers have tanked.
Oh, they've shit the bed since he left New Orleans.
If you're him, you want to leave.
From a stat standpoint, his worst move was So you're right. Maybe go to a team. Oh, the Bears.
Stop, Bears.
No.
I knew right where you were going. I'm like,
you fucking guys think that every fucking player in the NFL is going to go to the Bears. All right?
Dude, we locked eyes. I'm like, oh, the Bears.
The
That sounds
Bears.
great.
Give me a fucking break.
Dude, Matt Nagy.
What about your fucking boy? Who's your fucking boy?
Zach Miller probably won't ever play again.
Yeah, Zach Miller he'll be happy when he'll walk again. But I'm talking about the other guy that you
Adam
fucking
Shaheen?
Yeah,
I love Adam Shaheen, but
maybe he's reinvented with this new coaching
But
staff.
if you can take a dual tight end set like that,
Does Brett Favre go to the fucking Bears too, boys, or what?
Look at the killer duo they had in New England with Gronkowski and
Bennett.
No.
Oh, the Hernandez.
Hernandez,
The
right?
killer unit. Oh my God, I just got that.
Yeah.
No, Zach Miller is going to be Charles Xavier for the next couple of years.
Damn.
So
he's actually walking though.
Oh, I know.
He is walking, and good for him, man. Because and you know what? That was still a fucking touchdown.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh man,
Don't even fucking get me
touchdown.
on that.
I
almost want to go piss on purpose just to fucking get out of this conversation.
But look.
Jimmy Graham's probably leaving.
You look at
Back to point.
I don't know. I don't think he leaves.
Well, Seattle probably wants him to stay. From a stat standpoint, it seems like that's a place where tight ends go to die.
I don't think the Saints, or I don't think Seahawks want him. I think they're willing to let him go.
I don't think they'll give him a big price tag. I'll tell you that. They're not going to pay out for him.
I'd say let him go. Let him.
Yeah.
Right now,
I don't think he fits that offense. I really don't.
Utilize him he has some great plays and he does some great things, but it's not like what he was with Drew Brees. They talked about him going back to New Orleans.
That's a possibility.
Well,
Drew. Speaking of that, Drew Brees is looking to re-up.
What about San Fran?
That's what I thought. Maybe San Fran would make a little bit of sense with Garoppolo.
Garoppolo. Yeah, it would.
I just, the thing they love. Seattle loves that. Who's the long-haired kid, the tight end there, the white kid, Luke something. They like him.
Skywalker.
He plays. He catches tight end after tight end. Yeah, Luke Skywalker.
He catches tight end after
Wilson.
tight end.
Touchdown after touchdown, man. When they get close to the goal line, he was the Jesus Christ. Sorry.
I said Wilson.
Yeah, Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I did.
That's it. Yeah.
I love his movies.
Is he gonna go to the Chicago too,
guys?
Wedding Crashers was awesome.
Fucking Christ.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. See, I got to get some drops from that. Son of a bitch.
Oh, man. Suck. There goes three listeners.
Dude, we're already down to just us anyways.
Yeah, I guess no gangbang tonight.
Yeah. What? It's on the D-line, too.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Oh, they fucking ripped it apart?
Yeah.
What?
He said, I'm here for the gangbang.
Occasionally.
From that movie.
Other
oh, wait, here it is.
I'm here for the gangbang.
There we go.
Yeah. Way out of
Hey, we found it.
No, that's not even Wedding Crashers. That's fucking old school. Right.
That's Luke Wilson, though.
No.
Oh, God.
That's
You guys suck.
Sorry. I'm thinking of Owen Wilson.
Dick. So, anyway, yeah.
Oh, hot lunch.
He's not re-signing there. And I think if he's gonna go anywhere, I think
he stays on the West Coast.
San Fran's a great
San
choice.
Fran makes sense. They make sense.
What about someplace like the Rams?
L.A. Yeah, I was just saying that. L.A. would be a fit too. I mean, that would be one more weapon for Jared Goff.
You know who else is at L.A. that could be using him? Is the Chargers.
Nah. Is Antonio Gates still in the league, or did he retire?
Well, that's it. Like Antonio Gates needs. You got to move on at some point.
Yeah.
So you move on from Antonio Gates and you bring him in. Man, now you got Phillip Rivers throwing you the ball. Like. I think he could he'd be very scary there. And I think they would be able to utilize him correctly. But either way, I don't see him signing back up with Seattle.
Yeah.
Who else you got still?
Allen Robinson. It's pretty fucking.
Allen Robinson's your big get in wide receiver.
1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. That's pretty fucking solid. I don't see Jacksonville letting him go at all.
I don't see him back in Jacksonville. I think he's gone.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's gone. I think he's going to go somewhere else. I think one of these, because you know what's going to happen. So I think one of these really wide receiver needy teams is going to overpay for him, and Jacksonville's going to be like, you know what, we did it without you last year. We'll do it again.
That's possible.
So that's the only.
Yeah, he did tear his ACL.
Oh, so then the Bears will definitely sign him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Oh, he's always hurt. Sure,
you're right.
Come on over.
I've been wanting to. I'm going to skip ahead to Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins is an interesting one, man, because they were talking. There's people talking today. LaMarcus Joyner, who's in their secondary, is a free agent too, and they think that they might tag Lawrence or Joyner instead of Watkins, and Watkins might be out there. So
right.
But Sammy Watkins hasn't done it for me.
Neither.
He hasn't done it for me.
No, he. Well, what I've been seeing is he stretched defenses to where he would acquire multiple defenders, so that would leave the tight end open, and shorter receivers.
Yeah, but
open.
I think you get a more dependable guy.
Garners respect. He garners respect.
Well, if he garners the respect, he's doing his job regardless. Yes, his numbers were mediocre. I'm not going to argue
stay healthy. So if he's not out there running those deep patterns, you're not bringing out two defenders. He can't stay on the field.
I got to. Well, let's see how many games he played this year.
This year, I think is an anomaly. I think he actually stayed healthier this year than he's
he
been
is
the past few years.
Speaking of fucking Alshon Jeffrey, fucking played the whole season with a shitty ass shoulder. He's going to be out 6 months.
Yeah, and all these people, all the Bear fans, oh, he's a pussy. Fuck that, guys.
Yeah, that's
a
big.
Right, Sammy Watkins, hang on. So he, let's see, stats.
Sammy Watkins, if he's going to take third receiver money, then he's a good bet. But he wants to get paid like a first or a second, and I don't think he's a first or a second guy.
I agree with that. You got to go off what you know. His stats are mediocre at best.
Prove it to me.
Right.
Yeah. He's got less. What's his name from the Raiders?
Crabtree.
Crabtree has better stats than.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And but that is a huge point when you look at something.
He played 15 games this year.
What did he play last year?
8.
What did he play the year before?
13. Year before 16.
Yeah. He had that big injury when he was in Buffalo there, but
he
never did anything in Buffalo.
No.
He never did dick in Buffalo.
I thought Woods played better.
Yeah, exactly.
Robert Woods.
Out of the 4 years, this was his third best. So yeah, it's like his rookie year was 982. His second year was 104, over 1,000.
But he could
last year sucked ass because of the injury.
He could be a weapon. He could be a weapon for and stay out there and for like a San Francisco. I mean, you're going to see San Francisco. San Francisco's going to be in a lot of guys. Yeah. They're going to be in on a lot of guys this year to really improve that team. I mean, you don't give Jimmy Garoppolo what you gave Jimmy Garoppolo and not expect to win. Let's go now.
Unless
you know what I mean?
Browns.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm pissed that site I fucking had. I'm hoping it comes back up because that was pretty cool. 49ers are second. Speaking of salary cap space, they got 74.
Yeah, the Jets. The Jets are at 70, and the and then Cleveland at 1. I mean, Cleveland's got a shitload of money, and too. You have to use in the 4 major sports. There's basically a floor and a ceiling. Obviously, you can go over your salary cap, as much as you want. You pay the tax on it. But if you don't use a certain amount of your salary, like if you go below a certain line, I know the NFL is like this. You have to spend that money. You don't it. You don't have to spend all of it, but they can't go out and be like, okay, we're gonna give 2 guys $15 million, and we're gonna go into the season at, $90 million in cap. You can't do that, actually. It's actually against the collective bargaining agreement.
The Browns, well, let's go back to the Browns. Last year, the cap was 167.
Yeah.
They spent 109.
Yeah.
So, they obviously, and they still had the top amount of cap space.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing some of the same teams up in the top area here year to year. It's like, what the fuck? And there's the problem. It's like the teams that are winning,
Bears are up
Eagles are.
Eagles spent a shitload of money. They spent they spent the second or third most of any team.
They were in
years.
Bottom 6 last year. They're over the cap as of right now, so they're going to be cutting some people.
Yeah,
and with losing some staff already, Eagles could not be the same team next year.
What did you see? Deuce Staley did not get the OC job.
Yeah, they gave it to Mike Groh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they say Deuce Staley was the one that's been there for Chip Kelly. He was a leftover from Andy Reid. So he's one of these guys that hasn't really
stuck with the team and dealt with the shit, and
Yeah.
It makes you
wow,
wonder.
is he going to leave now?
Yeah. Is he looking to get out?
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, I think
I would say yes.
he's
you're him,
beloved there, though. I mean, it's.
You're beloved there.
I don't think he leaves. I don't think he goes anywhere. He's loved in time. He's Brian Westbrook's backup. He was they were the two-headed monster there.
The Eagles and the Dolphins are over the cap. Eagles are $9 million over. Dolphins are $7 million over.
Ooh.
And you got to add that Jarvis Landry money on too.
And Chiefs are 12,000 under. lot of
That's fucking nuts.
lot of way to go there.
A lot of wiggle room there.
Yeah.
12 grand.
So you're going to see a lot of cuts from the Eagles and the Dolphins. Or
Yeah.
restructuring. You're going to see some
Yeah,
restructuring.
yeah.
You're going to see a lot of people, but you have to remember, like somebody like probably for the Eagles, he played well, but it's just a fact of NFL business and sports business. Like, you're probably going to see a guy like Torrey Smith get cut, because he's a big contract.
Or Nick Foles get traded.
Yeah, Nick Foles will save you some money too.
Because they paid him pretty well for a backup.
Dude, that fucking what Bill Polian said the other day was I was like, wow, that's so true. He said he would not talk to any team. If he was a GM of the Eagles, he would not talk to any team unless they were offering 2 1s and 2 2s for Nick Foles. And you know what?
That's
gross.
Gross.
That's gross. But hey,
they don't have to. They don't have to.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. We don't need to do it. Like.
Oh no, they do need to do it. You know why? Because they're fucking $9.5 million over the fucking cap limit.
Yeah.
So it's like, keep Nick Foles, but get rid of your old fucking O-line. I mean, it's like they're gonna have to drop somebody important here.
Yeah, they are. You have to make a move. So.
And you know how it happens. Like once you win the Super Bowl and the guys are free agents, now you're getting top dollar.
Yeah.
And it's just what kills me is because all those fucking Eagle fans like, this is a dynasty motherfucker.
Sure.
Destiny's a stripper.
Right.
And a mall.
She's not hot, but she sure is spicy. Cinnamon.
What the fuck?
His mom took him to work too many times.
Right. Hey, that's where I got to sell my candy bars when I was a kid.
$10 and a candy bar.
No, candy bars was the other stripper.
Oh. Jesus Christ, we gotta head down to the VFW after this.
I totally forgot what my fucking point was, dude.
It's probably better that way.
You were saying they're a dynasty, but they're
yeah. So all these Eagles fans, they're saying they're a dynasty, and it's just like your team, your lost part of your coaching staff, especially the offensive part, and now you're going to lose players. So I just, that happens every year. Except, now let's look at the...
All right, listen up, everybody. This is former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're listening to the D-Line, only on Disruption Networks. That's the D. Do it now.
Totally had to do that just to be a dick.
That's awesome. We haven't taken a break. I got to piss like a racehorse. Patriots are 13 mil under, so they've got room to sign.
Because they just invent guys. They just like they have the cheat code of guys. The Patriots have the cheat code, like Rex Burkhead. Like, come on, that guy was like one of their best running backs this year.
What's his name? White.
Yeah, James White.
Like, where'd he come from?
Yeah,
Deion Lewis was a practice squad player his entire career until he went to New England, and now he was the starting running back for the Patriots the last 3 years.
I read an article the other day where all the Bears captains for the year.
Oh yeah.
They're all going to be leaving the team.
Yeah.
You got Glennon, Freeman, Josh Sitton, McManus.
I'm okay with it. Sitton's his years are he's on the Green Bay got rid of him for a reason because he was on the downturn. Bears, I think we got the best remaining 2 years out of him.
Sure,
which he was injured a few games last year.
He's still a Pro Bowler.
He's
only 31. He's only 31, and he just wants too much money. He's up for more like $13 million.
Yeah, I mean, it was an option where we had to pay him $8 million for this year, I believe, and we voided it. So we don't have to pay
I actually think it was a little more than that.
I think $8 million stuck in my head. You can look it up. Oh no, I can't.
I want to say it was like somewhere in the neighborhood of 13, but either way, like it was due to more money than performance because he was a Pro Bowler.
He would have cost us more money than we would have gotten out of him. That's what I feel.
And I think the Bears really need to address that O-line. I mean,
yeah. Oh, I don't think they should ignore this. I don't think
you need a real center in there.
You know, Garasu and Whitehair. I think Garasu's getting owned at center, but
and a guy that's always hurt.
Yeah.
Always hurt. So you get
Whitehair's your center. I think Garasu's on his way out.
Well, Whitehair was not even. He's a guard. Whitehair. That's traditionally
right. He's just got to work on
not even his position.
He's got to. He's a great center. He's just got to work on his long snapping. That's it.
I say you go out and you get like a real center. Go out, find a great free agent center.
Yeah, okay.
You know, bring him in there, move Whitehair back out to his natural
to the
spot.
guard. Right. Yeah.
Now that Sitton's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to have somebody fill that void. You know, maybe Grasu shapes up, but he's always hurt.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really shown
that's
me
why I'm like, I'm okay with letting go of Sitton. But the Bears got plenty of cap space, $41 million. That's decent.
And counting, because once they get rid of Glennon and some of these other guys,
we're having a party. Yeah. If Glennon goes, balloons and a cake.
The guys that I just mentioned, they said like if they get rid of them, it's some astronomical number of money they're going to save.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Glennon saves you $11 million.
Yes,
I know that.
Yeah,
right. Even though we're paying him, we're still pay him like $3.5 million or something.
It comes off the books.
Yeah,
McPhee was the other one I was trying to think of that was the captain.
Right,
and they get rid of him, they're going to save like
there will be
$7,
fucking
$8 million.
cake when Glennon gets released. Here,
I like cake. The band or the food? He's not going to distance. He's all done because he's.
What the fuck?
Just reluctantly crouched at the starting line.
He's fumbling and stumbling.
You guys are fucked.
He's too young for that song.
Oh man, dude, that fucking song gets me pumped. I just want to.
You know, Sam that works at O'Donnell's. He was doing the Boilermaker a few years ago, and we were standing out front watching him run by.
Yeah.
And I use run loosely.
Yeah.
Like I walk way faster.
Slide his feet.
And he's like one of the last people. I mean, like the 300-pound people that do it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, congratulations!" Like they were beating him, and he's going at the slowest pace possible.
The Make-A-Wish kid.
And I can't really talk shit because I've never done it in my life. And kudos to him for being able to do it, but. They started playing, he's going to distance, not going for speed. And I just see him just trotting along, like going there. Everybody else, I've like been on 3 or 4 beers by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so he gets like cocked when he runs the fucking race too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He drinks
gets
beers.
tons of cock.
That mother.
You said it.
And you know what's funny is him and our friend Rocco, they had a little run that they would do. It was called the McDonald's Challenge, where they would pick like it'd be the North Utica McDonald's, the South Utica McDonald's, the White
Yorkville McDonald's,
and they'd run the loop, and they would have what was it, a double cheeseburger?
They'd have to eat something.
Stupid,
yeah. It was
he told
fucking
me
ridiculous.
I had to pick him up after this. I'm like, how many times you guys puke? You know what I mean? Like, run somewhere, eat some McDonald's of all places.
Yeah, it just sits in your stomach the entire day.
Oh yeah, I would call it the Ajita run.
The poop a few hours. Poop a few hours later run.
That might be why they took the canal trail when they were going.
Add to the scenery.
Drop a deuce.
They're those guys they're looking for still.
So they would have to go out there, and every time they hit McDonald's, they would
eat the sandwich
and start running again.
Oh man, how shitty must that have been? That must suck so bad. I hate running to start with.
Yeah, and then you got to eat and then run again.
Oh fuck! You also have to stop running too, and then think about you have to start right back up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like all right, let's keep going.
And then you got to like your stomach. Yeah. So who else we got out there for free agents?
Let's see, Sheldon Richardson, D tackle.
Yeah, he's
Seattle.
He's locker room cancer though. He was
he
bad in New York. Him and Brandon Marshall couldn't get along in New York, and I mean it seemed like he calmed a little bit out in Seattle a little bit when he was there, but he's a guy. He's a guy, to be honest with you. Like, he's been pretty good, but he might need like a show me 1 year contract. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll kind of maybe slightly overpay you, but we're gonna want to see you. We're not going full all in on you yet. So
yeah, he's a 1 year guy. Show me a deal.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to make sure you're not getting a Albert Hainsworth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pay him big bucks, and then he never fulfills what he's supposed to do.
Exactly. You know, he had a good year in Seattle, but he's got to go out and do it again. He really does. I mean, I think he's a big player that's going to need to do that. So, you know who we were talking about a second ago too, who I think is a big free agent that's going to kind of go. You know, there could be a decent bidding war for him, and I think he's going to contribute to
Josh McCown?
to a lot of teams. No, is
he's your Casey Keenum.
Oh man, could you imagine? Is Nate Soldier, the right tackle for the Patriots? I don't think they're going to bring him back. Belichick and Kraft have long operated in the fact that they don't really pay guys first off, and they'll bring in some other guy that will have gone to like Cortland State or something, like the right tackle Cortland State. They'll come in and he'll be a 10-time Pro Bowler. You know what I mean? So
their first step's a doozy. So
I made it 2 steps.
So I think he's a guy. I think he's a guy that's going to be gone. I think Soldier's going to be a guy that a team is going to really shell out for. And maybe is on a 4-year deal. Is he the new start for the Giants offensive line? I think that's a spot for him.
That's a great place. Perfect place, Giants.
So I think they're really needy. I mean, is it also where else he could fit too? And we've said it again. And they've got just as much money as the top few teams is San Francisco. Jimmy Garoppolo, he played with him. He was his quarterback. He protected his blind side for him too when he was there. So
yeah, but I see the
never
Giants,
saw that movie.
I see the Giants ponying up more money though. I see the Giants having a bigger need for it and ponying up the money and trying to get some.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think you're absolutely right.
Where do you think Richardson goes? Who do you think ponies up the money for that?
You know where I could see Richardson is in like Kansas City. I could see them. I could see him being a piece there. I could see him also being. I mean, I wouldn't be against putting him right between Clowney and Watt too.
Yeah,
if I'm Houston,
I don't see that.
I
don't see that really happening though.
No,
especially a guy like that. I'd see him like, okay, so he's kind of an asshole. He might be going on a 1-year thing. Probably Detroit.
He could be.
That's not even a fucking joke. That's probably
Patricia,
likely.
And Patricia makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to put them together. I mean, he's a good defensive. Patricia was a good D coordinator. So I mean, maybe
they lost the Dominic Nick Farley. They lost a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, those are 2 huge losses. The one you just named. Fuck me.
And I think they might be losing Anza.
Yeah,
Zeke Anza.
Yeah, no, that's a good spot. Or fuck it, put him with him. Put Sheldon Richardson with Ansa.
That would be great. But
you know what I mean?
Is Ansa a free agent?
I'm not sure, but
I thought I heard somewhere that they're worried about re-signing.
Yeah, he is actually. He's rebounded from a subpar year. He's on the list. He was next.
Yeah,
right after Richardson. I'm just like, they've got top. This is top free agents.
Guy. You franchise tag that guy. He's your best guy on your defense besides Slay.
Or he's a guy too that if he doesn't go back there, just speaking from that point, that if he doesn't go back there, he might make sense in Cleveland. Ziggy Ansah might make. You have to remember that Cleveland's not a desirable location, but if they can bring in John Dorsey, the new GM there, and DiPodesta, he's a former baseball guy that's now in their front office, but if they can bring him in,
that's weird,
guys. Yeah, it is really weird. It's not right, But
so, do you think they're playing Moneyball?
Moneyball doesn't work, but
it does for the NFL.
I don't. The idea of Moneyball and analytics, I think, is something that's totally lost on people because, like, if you told me,
there's no way it could work for the NFL. I mean,
no, it doesn't,
because it's
you look
like
at stats.
You have to work your ass off.
Still, they've been looking at every sport. Okay, they've made a couple new stats, right, with this analytics thing, right? You don't sign a fucking guy saying, oh well, I didn't really look at his numbers, but I'm gonna go with him. Like,
Moneyball was based on just getting to first base. I mean, that was the whole premise of it.
Well, I
watched the movie once.
It's like being in junior high.
Basically, basically, it's finding value in undervalued players. It's taking a guy that might be, a practice squad player and being like, we see something that we really like about him, and we're going to try to exploit it for the cheapest amount of money.
Right,
it's winning with small money.
So the only way,
like the Patriots do every year.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're probably the best example of Moneyball.
Sure. Yeah.
But, I mean, comparing it to baseball, it'd be like getting an O-lineman. All right, well, this guy he's only had one false start in all of his career.
Exactly.
So let's sign him.
It doesn't work.
His blocking sucks, but we're not going to get a penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
It
does in effect if you take these, like, guys that are on the practice squad. Like I just said, what's his name from Christian Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, so now here's a guy started a few years, was in a bad system with a bad team around him. Walk on free agent, so doesn't scream show me the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had a great year last year, showed a lot of promise. So now if you're a team trying to do money ball, you can get him fairly cheap.
Yeah.
You know, and here's a guy who's starting quality. So now you get another couple guys just like him. And you know who else did that too was Seattle.
Yeah.
You know, those guys weren't household names until they made themselves household names.
Sure.
And
that has to happen in order to have the league work the way it does.
You got to have that nucleus of strong players.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can work in your superstars, or maybe a superstar develops because of those other strong players that they can depend upon.
Sure.
So, like, in the Moneyball sense, you're not paying for that star. You're not paying for that elite player. You're paying for guys who are above average, strong, developable guys.
Right.
You know, that you can put out there and you can teach them, you can coach them a good system on the cheap. And I think Seattle did that very well. I think New England does that on a yearly basis. So I believe it can work. You know, then you can kind of mingle in your celebrities, your superstars, your big name players that really hit it home, or one of those guys, like I said, steps up and plays. You know, like who was Richard Sherman when he came out of college? Probably a decent player, but not that household name.
Guys that are, you know, it's guys that are taken, like in a football sense, it would be finding value in guys that are taken later in the draft. You know, that's your undrafted free agents. You know, it's finding value in those guys. But, you know, that's again where you're like nothing beats, as Sil just said, nothing beats in my mind in any sport. You know, nothing beats the eye test. You can't, like, you know, go out and see how a guy does it. Okay, that's great. He doesn't have any penalties, but like Sil said, if he's beaten off the line every time, well then he's not very good.
Right.
He's not good. Like you know, with Billy Bean's idea, it was also finding value in college and high school players
you know
in the
about
draft.
Scouting, anyways.
Yeah, exactly right. It was finding value in the draft. I hate to tell you this, but Billy Bean in Oakland never won a World Series. It didn't work.
He's that big fat boxer dude. Right?
Yeah, Butterball. Yeah,
Butterbean.
Yeah. Fucking Christ. But yeah, it doesn't work. I mean, so that's why I'm saying I you know, going back to Cleveland, it's yeah, okay, you can. You know, they might, if they hit on something here in the next few years, they'll be like, oh, well, it was all the analytics and all that. You know, you look at that. It's been looked at for years. You don't sign a guy and say, well, you know, what's his completion percentage? How many balls does he drop as a wide receiver? You know, you look at that stuff.
Right.
Like, that's been looked at forever. This is not a new phenomenon. So I think it's stupid to have that guy in the front office. Right. It's not, you know, he can preach that to you, but you can do the same thing in a 2-day seminar.
Right.
You know?
You know, like you said, check a guy's background.
Sure.
You know, see his environment that he's grown up in,
Yeah.
what he's dealing with now, and look at the stats. How does he perform on the field? You're right. They already look at all that already combined.
Yeah. But
Moneyball doesn't play in the NFL.
know. I
And
guess
so
the way you
to
look at
have that guy in their front office.
I still think
is
you
just weird.
got to send guys out there. Absolutely, you got to see how they play, but you got to meet these guys too, because there's a lot of players out there who they don't really stand out in the practice field. They don't really stand out. They're not.
You got to know everything about a guy.
Physical attributes aren't that great,
right?
You know, like as far as like, you know, other players compared. I mean, who the hell would take Wes Welker?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
Who would think Wes Welker would dominate the NFL like the way he did?
There are guys who, you know, you use the term, they're a gamer.
Right.
Practice, they're half-hearted, blah blah blah. But
Talking about practice,
but game
practice.
I know, right? I fucking hate that. But game time,
I love Allen Iverson.
right? But game time, they're there. They're the team. They're all about winning the fucking game.
Yeah.
Well, to get to that gamer status, you have to prove yourself.
You've done something.
You know,
But
you
some
know,
of these
so-
guys, and I'll say what, Tom Brady is a gamer.
right?
Tom Brady is one of those
Well,
guys.
we don't know how he practices. I mean, you know,
Obviously he practices very well now, but I think like when it comes, you know, because it's down to a system,
Right.
you know what I mean. But like when it comes down to the game, and you see it because he's that guy. When the shit hits the fan, he can put it on his shoulders and he plays his balls out.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, gamer. You know what I mean? You know, there's certain guys that are just gamers.
I
Flutie.
know, but I always took. I'm just, you know, from my standpoint, I always took practice as serious as I took a game, because I always felt if bad habits develop in practice, they're gonna develop on the field. But I've seen it in my life. You know, as a guy who just fucking gives half effort in practice field,
but he's there.
But he's there at game time, and it's like I just want to punch him right in the face.
Yeah, because how much better he would be.
No, I love those guys. Giggity.
No.
What I hate is the guys that practice really well. Then you put them in a game, and they don't do shit.
And they're the biggest letdowns.
Yeah. And you're like, dude, you were such a stud in practice.
No.
What happened?
You had a great week, and you come out here, and you might as well have fucking took a shit on the field.
But that's about knowing your guys. That's about doing your research. That research has always long been done.
And that's why I look at go back to the Allen Iverson. Like, he dropped 60 points in a game. And you're bitching at him about practice. And I get it, practice is important. But, like, he's saying, I just dropped 60 fucking points. The rest of my team ain't doing dick.
I know. No, I know. It's just now, you know, as a coach, it's like this guy's giving a half-hearted effort in practice, but yet I'm still going to start him and play him. I know why, but everybody else is wondering what the fuck is going on. What are you doing? So they lose confidence in you as a coach. That's my problem with it.
See, I disagree because there's some guys that just kick in that extra.
You're playing favoritism, with that kind of thing.
And I think at some point you do have to play favoritism a little bit.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you, chicken.
You just kind of have
it always puts the coach in a bad place.
You have to handle people in different ways.
Yeah.
You know, like some people you got to give accolades, and that's how they get better. And some people you kind of got to rip into them. You know, like Bill Parcells.
I've had to make fun of a guy's mother just so he would play better, and it worked every week.
Bill Parcells would go up to his LT and these guys and rip them harder than he would rip any other player.
Right.
Because he knew if he ripped LT so bad, all the other people were like, holy shit, he's on Lawrence Taylor like that? He's like one of the best ever. And Lawrence Taylor would be like, fuck you, and go out there and play his balls off. You know what I mean? And he just knew how to get that to him.
No, yeah.
But you couldn't do that to another player because another player would just, oh my God, and they just feel down.
Some guys who got a hold with kid gloves where if like Patriot Greg, if he saw me pissed off on the sideline, that pissed him off on the field, and he'd play harder. So it's just like, every guy's different. And
some people are some people need that pat on the back to kind of make them know that they're doing well and they feel confident. And
that's one of the most successful coaching tactics is you realize you coach a team, but you at the same time you also
adapt
coach individuals.
to players.
You have to. I've pulled guys out of the lineup.
Individuals.
Our D-line guys who were playing stellar, I would pull them out.
Yeah.
Just to piss them off.
Yeah.
Just to piss them off. And I'm like, and one of our guys, he was like 40 years old at the time, and he was a beast. Borst, if you're listening, man, you were a monster out there. But I would pull him out. I'm like, dude, you're too old. You need a rest. Coach, it's fucked up. I could get him. You need a rest. You're too old. You gotta, you motherfucker. So you get out there, and he'd just go nuts. You know, you go tear at it. And he never wanted to come out, so I just do it just to get at him, you know.
Yeah, and you have to, one of the things too, and it's just the same. It's the same as if you're coaching a modified baseball team or an NFL football team. Okay, you have to be the same way. It's what the Patriots did with Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. You can't be afraid.
That is still weird to me.
Sit down a player if he violates your rules, or
he
or
didn't,
if
apparently he didn't violate any rule now.
Yeah, there's no evidence of that.
Yeah.
And I still thought for the exact same thing. I thought for sure they were going to bring him back in the second half, and he was going to be on fire.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. When I've coached baseball and stuff, and locally even with teams that I've coached around here, I'll never forget. I sat one of my best pitchers one time in a sectional game, and it was supposed to be his start, but he was giving me nothing but attitude, and he was giving me nothing on the field. And I sat him down, and I could have brought. There were so many opportunities where I said to the assistant coach, I said, do we send him down and have him warm up? And he said, no, let him sit there. And he sat there the entire game, and we just barely won. And I looked at him, and I said, you almost cost your team the game, not me, because of what you did. But that's individual coaching. You have to understand how to deal with Tom Brady's personality, and then deal with Sheldon Richardson's personality.
And another example, we were getting our dicks knocked in 60-3 out in Troy. One of our players came out and threw his helmet against the fence, and him and Sil went at it. And, they started batting, and he does not play for the rest of the fucking game. So, I go over there, I tell him, I'm like, listen, dude, whatever you just did was not acceptable. But you're better than this, and you need to go apologize to coach. And, and I brought him to a different standpoint because at that point you can't confront him. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go over there and, start bitching at him and yelling at him because it's just going to, piss him off.
This is a guy I'm good friends with.
Really good friends.
Yeah.
And it was just, I had to take a different approach because you were pissed off, he was pissed off, and then there was just turmoil on there. So I grabbed him, I set him aside, and I talked to him like a man. And I'm like, listen, bro, you know what you did was wrong. You can't do that. You can't talk to a coach that way. I'm like, I was told not to put you back in the game.
Sure.
So if you want to play again, you need to go apologize and let him know. And he did.
Yeah.
And
he got back in the game.
And he got back in the game.
And I think too. I think that's
grown man stuff goes a long way with me. You know,
same
it's
here.
Like, you know,
we know what a grown man stuff goes.
Shit.
Well, I think
seen a grown man naked.
I think it goes back to
son of a bitch.
You know, I think another important thing too in the NFL is when you're building a team too. Like if I'm Cleveland, I'm trying to bring in a veteran presence that's
Absolutely.
going.
Yeah, you might be losing Thomas.
Those are that's your coaching staff too.
And that's what I think is missing so much. Everyone's so worried about talent and speed and all those kind of attributes that people are forgetting about.
Yeah.
Being coaches on the field, like you just said, being leaders on the team.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Those are the people that they could look at another player and say, "Fucking do your job."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think it says a lot. Too. I mean, I have never been a really big fan of his, but I think it said a lot with what happened at the end of the year with James Harrison. I think James Harrison's a dickbag, and I think that they probably wanted him. They probably brought him back and said, we really want you to help T.J. Watt develop and our young linebacking core, right? And when he wasn't getting the snaps he wanted because he maybe or maybe not helped develop those people, he went soft. And you know what?
You saw he was sleeping and shit.
Yeah, and you saw a lot of these players when he left, they're like good riddance. So that's where I give a team a lot of credit on doing that. James Harrison's a phenomenal football player.
But do you think they would have been so good riddance if he went anywhere but like the Patriots?
I mean I think that did play, but this was Mike. This was even. I know he signed fairly quick with the Patriots. It was within a day or two. But first day
cleared waivers and he was with them.
That was the only place I can see signing him.
2 days.
Yeah, that first day, those guys came out and said, well, good riddance. We're happy. See ya. Like. We're better off now. I know I can't think of the offensive lineman, but one of their offensive linemen literally, Pouncey, said we are better off now without him.
Yeah, it showed,
and that's crazy. Yeah, I know.
When
yeah, exactly.
You don't need that. You don't need a cancer in the locker room, regardless of who it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's spoiling your team.
And when you look at like the Steelers, I mean. How many years are you going to get out of them? 1, 2, maybe?
Right, yeah.
You know
So, they did the right thing.
From a personnel standpoint, you're right. It goes, and I think that's with what we were saying about Sheldon Richardson is look at what happened in New York. He butted heads with Brandon Marshall's has notoriously been an outspoken player, but he's never crossed that line of saying really bad things. He's outspoken.
And the thing about like Brandon Marshall, like he had every opportunity to rip Cutler apart.
Yeah.
And he never did.
Yeah. Why are you going head to head with Brandon Marshall in the New York Jets locker room? There's no reason.
The only people that ripped Cutler apart from that team was players that didn't play directly with Cutler. They weren't offensive players. They were mostly defensive players.
Right.
So which I feel like Cutler's image was over exaggerated.
I think I seem to remember Bennett throwing some shade his way.
Yeah, but Bennett's a fucking douche.
Yeah.
If Bennett threw shade at Green Bay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
He's just a dick. So I don't put any
it's like anybody who doesn't play for anymore, he throws shade their way.
And like
it's like he won a fucking Super Bowl with New England, and then when he got released the next year, he was throwing shade at fucking New England. I'm like, dude, you just got a fucking ring.
He went to the Pro Bowl for the first time ever under Cutler.
Yeah.
And like people forget, like they had a great offense that year. People are like, "Oh, Cutler wasn't able." They were second in the league in offense that year. But every time like he rips on Cutler, well, he made you a Pro Bowler. You know what I mean? You never made Pro Bowl ever again since you left the Bears.
Right.
Oh no, he might have made it for New England.
New England, yeah, last year. Did he? I don't know. Let's look this up.
But you know what I'm saying? Like he's a cancer.
Yeah.
And his brothers know better.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
I think Seattle might have to move on from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Richard Sherman might be leaving there.
It's sometimes and Mike, I think you just brought up a team too, and I know this could be a stretch with a team like that, but you might be looking at a team in the next few years that might have to blow up. They might need to just blow them up and blow the roster up because that's what happens. I mean, yeah, you have Russell Wilson still there, so you always want to compete with that guy as your quarterback, but push comes to shove, you sometimes have to take a step back and take that 2-year rebuild. Yep. And that's the NFL. The NFL is interesting because it does seem like a rebuild can happen in that sport a lot quicker than it happens in other ones. I mean, I know you guys aren't real, huge fans of other sports, but it takes, to rebuild in baseball, it takes you 4 to 5 years. When you want to rebuild an NBA team, I mean, look at Philadelphia. They're just getting good, and they've had the first round pick for the last 6 years, or first overall pick basically for the last 6 years.
Who's that?
The Sixers.
Oh.
I mean, so that whole trust the process.
Then you look at the Celtics, though.
Yeah,
the Celtics turned around within 2 years.
Yeah, but I think the Celtics had a good. I think they had a good groundwork laid when they had the big three. Then they went cold a year or two, and then they did
all those.
They did very well. Yeah, exactly. I think that Kevin Garnett trade was they're still living life off that.
Yeah, he only made the Pro Bowl 1 year with the Bears. That's it.
That's it. And then he throws shade. Like you had Tom Brady throwing you ball. You had Aaron Rodgers throwing you ball. You had like.
Right.
You had Eli Manning. You had Tony Romo.
Yeah.
And the only time you made it to the Pro Bowl was when Jay Cutler was throwing you the ball.
Yeah. Well, I would have.
You should be blowing him.
Made it more than that.
He was a nobody. I mean, he did okay with the Giants. Like that kind of got him a blip on the screen. But like when
he only had 1 year with them.
And when he came to the Bears, he played way better.
Right.
Although he was one of those guys. I'm like, when you throw to Gronk, you know he's going to catch it. When you throw to Jimmy Graham, you know that's a safety net. When you throw to Kelsey, Ertz. These are guys that,
right.
Like, you could
He'll belly out. Yeah.
He would always drop the easy ones.
Yep.
Very Jeremy Shockey-ish. Like make that big splashy play, and you're like, wow, this guy's great. But then you couldn't go to him all the time.
Right. Well, that's what I hated about Greg Olsen, too, with the Bears. Now he's a fucking outlet for Newton in Carolina. But with the Bears, it's like, dude, the guy had fucking fumble arms.
Yeah.
I really hated it.
Yeah, but he was still our leading receiver.
Yeah,
and that's a huge thing, too. You have to when you're signing people and stuff. It's a huge calculated gamble because you can have the Greg Olsons that blow up in Carolina, okay, and are amazing, but then you can have somebody who had a good year or two in Indianapolis, and then now plays tight end for the Saints and is terrible. Colby Fleener,
right?
You look at that. I mean, Colby Fleener
in a better system, better run quarterback.
Jimmy Graham back to the Saints.
Fucking Drew Brees. Drew Brees throws 500 yards a game sometimes. You know what I mean? Like he throws the ball. How can you?
Sometimes pencil him in for 5,000 every year.
He's every year with the Saints. He's thrown for 4,300 yards or more.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
every year with the Saints.
So to go there and not produce when Drew Brees made Jimmy Graham's career.
Right.
It just says something about it that, like I said, and it's I feel like it's our this time of year. This is what we say a lot, but you got to prove it to me.
See, I think,
but you have to make that calculation.
Don't make that motion.
I really like the idea of him going to the Chargers. I do.
Sure.
At this point, Antonio Gates, even if he does stay in there, make him the second.
Why not go and play for John Gruden?
That's a great opportunity too, but it's still. At this point, I think it's wishy-washy. You don't know which way it's going to go. Yeah. It could blow up, or it could just blow up in your face.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you bring him to the Chargers, they got a system that's already in there. Already in place. Phillip Rivers is a monster when he wants to be.
Yeah.
When he's got people to throw to. So if you got Gates and Jimmy Graham on the same team, and what's Gates got? Probably another year or two left.
Yeah,
but he gives you that. Who's going to guard Gates now?
Sure.
So you put a 2 tight end set, and then you got who's their the Ivory or the wide receiver
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, yes. So now you got a team that and then you got Gordon.
Yeah.
So I mean you got a team out there.
It's a good up and coming team. Yeah.
And
definitely Hunter Henry's there though. That's their tight end. That's the only thing that would scare me. Is Hunter Henry's
but if you got Jimmy Graham,
but he's their guy. They love Hunter Henry. So so with me, Mike, it's tough
and that defense too.
That defense is God, man. Ingram and Bosa.
Yeah.
They're gonna be deadly.
I think you give Rivers that tight end again, that monster tight end. I think that team goes deep in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Is he that tight end though?
He is. He's that wide receiver / tight end that Antonio Gates made popular at
but he's
Gonzalez.
Old.
He's
Graham,
not that old. Yeah,
I mean, he's
not that old. He's a hell of a lot younger than Antonio Gates.
Wow, I think Antonio Gates might be the oldest player in the NFL besides Vinatieri.
Vinatieri, yeah. Janikowski's 39.
Yeah,
who's now a free agent.
I think he retires. I think Jano just retires and just starts boozing.
Yeah.
Well, who just?
But then again, you know what? all these teams that have
Who just let go of the kicker? Tampa Bay just let go of their
Nick
kicker.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
all these kicking problems that people have had, and now you could bring Janikowski in, and
Right.
he could probably
you can get
demand-
two good years out of him.
Jano's just I mean, dude, think about it. As a kicker, you could play a long time.
Can you
I mean,
imagine-
think about
Well,
Morton
I'm just
Anderson
saying,
and Gary Anderson.
You could get
Yeah.
him for a 2-year deal.
Can you imagine him in Denver? You know, with the altitude.
Fucking man.
I mean, this guy's kicking 64-yard field goals in Oakland.
Yeah, in Oakland. Yeah.
Can you imagine with
Right.
the oh man, he could be kicking 70-yarders.
I feel like it sucks. I wish Jano hadn't got hurt, and Tavecchio has been really good for them. But it just sucks. It would have been so cool. Just think about the fucking shit Jano would have done in Vegas. He would have ran wild on that city. He would have been boozing it before. Like, that guy just doesn't give a fuck. He's just he's like the only kicker ever to be drafted in the first round.
And he's been huge for them. Literally,
yeah.
he's been. I think if there's a Hall of Fame kicker, you know, Anavin
Yeah.
Vinatieri
Yes.
and,
He's
and
in.
Janikowski.
Yeah. Oh, they're both. I mean, Vinatieri is definitely gonna be. I mean, like 58 points is not nothing too. I think he gets that easily. I think kickers usually put up about 100 points a year. They lead the
Doing
league in
field
points.
goals
Yeah.
and extra points.
Yeah.
So I mean, Vinatieri obviously is, and I think Jano obviously is too. I think they're locks. So
Do the Bears re-sign Fuller?
I think they should.
They definitely should.
I really think they should. And, you know, one of those shitty 24/7 it's my opinion articles was like,
Yeah.
no, the Bears are going to let him go. No, dude, you don't have a
No.
fucking
you
clue.
franchise tag him.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
a franchise tag. Team.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody that said we really need a franchise right now.
And he's not, he's not the best corner in the league, but he's solid.
He's a solid.
He's a solid corner.
and that was coming back from an injury when he was
Yeah.
supposed to be our third cornerback.
Right.
And I say keep him, keep Cooper. If Cooper's not, is Cooper a free agent or is he?
I don't know.
Or they're saying he's just a bust. But I'd say go after. They say Marcus Peters. They're trying to trade Marcus Peters.
yeah.
I
Marcus Peters would be tough to get though. Fuck.
You'd have to give up some
you'd
stuff
have
for him.
serious leverage for him, but I mean they just got that Amerson. Kansas City just signed a David Amerson, so it makes sense that maybe Peters is out on the way, but who knows? So, we got a message over there?
Yeah, it was just Todd hit me up.
Oh,
I'm trying to look through other, standout free agents that
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater. I don't even know how he fucking makes this list.
Buffalo.
I really don't. Yeah, I
Because he's a high profile name.
I mean, other than Sam Bradford and McCarron, at QB.
McCarron's an interesting.
Oh yeah, he's
player,
gonna.
though,
He is going to go somewhere. Arizona.
is he
Denver.
that good though? Like, is he one of these guys that like?
I think
He's a big risk.
he
It's
is.
a
He's only played a Jimmy Garoppolo amount of games where teams might be willing to take that chance.
Yeah.
You know.
But you could also. I mean,
I think his last significant time was the playoff game a couple of years ago. With Cincinnati, and he had decent numbers.
if you're
about playoffs?
Yeah.
if you're
about playoffs?
if you're Arizona, I mean, maybe do like a McCarron type thing, and maybe you kind of in the third or fourth round go with like a Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but see, if you're Arizona, right, you have a nucleus of players there that are good. I mean, you're gonna get Johnson back, and how long you can have Larry Fitzgerald for?
Yeah, I think this is it for Fitz.
You know what I mean? And then you got a decent defense. So why not go and get a guy like Kirk Cousins or Case Keenum or some of these other guys that are proven entities?
No, Arizona's going free agent QB.
And then draft a guy to play under McCarron. Though, I'm not buying it. Don't go McCarron. Get a guy that
Proven.
Yes.
McCarron's basically, 2 years ago, Keenum, Foles. He's that Garoppolo. Not even Foles has been good for the past. Decent for the past few years.
And Foles started, and Foles was like the guy.
So
he was supposed to be the future of Philly. And
right. So he was a bad example there, but he's the Keenum of this year in Garoppolo. So teams just got to take a chance on him.
He's a Matt Castle to me.
Yeah, I mean,
and Matt Castle probably has more playing time than he does.
You know the thing about McCarron that it kind of sits in the back
You're
of my
right.
mind.
It's just
it sits in the back of my mind with guys like AJ McCarron. Is he was on a team that couldn't get out of the first round of the playoffs, right? Like never really been a winner, just kind of a stagnant team, right? Why then, if you were in Cincinnati and you're running the front office in Cincinnati and you loved this guy so much and he played pretty good when Andy Dalton was out, why would you not move on from Andy Dalton?
Right.
If you think this guy's the answer. You're nothing. I mean, I mean, it's going to be another stale year in Cincinnati. It is. Like, we know they're going to probably go fucking 9-7 or 8-8, not make the playoffs because they play in a pretty fucking good division, and it's gonna be another stagnant year. It goes back to our talks about Marvin Lewis and why Marvin Lewis should be back. He shouldn't be, and I think that if AJ McCarron was the real deal, they would have made this move 2 years ago when Andy Dalton got hurt.
Right. And my thing is, like, Arizona was. I mean, they did that 30 for 30 on him, like all for nothing or whatever it was called. And,
something for nothing.
And fucking dick. But they were talking about Arizona being so close to a Super Bowl.
Sure.
Then they were really, putting it all in what, moving forward. So last year they quarterback problems and things like that.
Sure.
So why would you go get a guy that's unproven? You got a team that can compete.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that's a tough division. So. But you go out there and you get a guy like I said, a Kirk Cousins. You go get a Case Keenum. You go get a
make that one
Nick
last push
Foles.
at it.
Right.
You get a guy that is going to excite a guy like Larry Fitzgerald.
And I think you guys are right too about their attitude of go get a proven player, but also get that quarterback in the draft, because I don't think Larry Fitz comes back without that. Larry Fitzgerald,
if he doesn't
he's not
give
coming back
somebody that gives him half a chub,
rebuild.
he ain't coming back.
Yeah, he's not coming back for a rebuild. You know what I mean? So they've obviously told him something, and they owe it to him. They that's a respect thing you do with veterans. You owe it to a veteran like that to say, it's the same thing that Kansas City did with Tony Gonzalez. Hey, Tony, we're not going to win, man. Like we're looking at a few years of rebuild here. Let's get you someplace where you can win. And I know Arizona, and they've always been a fairly classy organization.
Let's give you the biggest heartbreak of your life.
Oh, man. Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
you know what? You thought it sucked here.
At least we didn't give it a glimmer of hope.
Right?
Yeah. But like that's
one
the
last
thing
hoorah.
right there. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But Larry Fitzgerald, is definitely one of those guys. Like, when he has a decent quarterback, he could light it up.
Sure.
And I think he can still light it up. And talk about loyalty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a guy that could have went and demanded money from anybody.
Yeah.
And it could have hooked up in New England or Green Bay or someplace like that and just killed it.
You know what disciple of Larry Fitzgerald I think is going to have a big payday, because he's a very quiet free agent, is John Brown. I think John Brown, the wide receiver there, the slot wide receiver out there, the little fast kid that runs all over the place. I think he's gonna sign one of those deals that it's gonna be like, you're gonna see it at the bottom of the NFL Network or ESPN. You're gonna be like, oh, it's good for Carolina. They got John Brown, and then like he might like go there and play, and you'll be like, John Brown's with Carolina, and wow, John Brown's lighting it up. Like, you're doing your fantasy draft, and you're like, John Brown was always maybe on your bench or something like that, and you're like, wow, John Brown's with Carolina now. Shit, that must be a good thing.
Carolina,
you know what I mean?
But if you bring in a Case Keenum or something like that, now he might want to stay.
Sure, exactly.
Carolina might go for $2.8 billion. They're
That's insane.
They're estimated at 2.3, but it's got a $500 million leeway.
Well, that's I'll tell you,
just all because of a sexual innuendo, basically.
I'll tell you the
harassment.
Did you see the story too about their GM this week? I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he basically was put on administrative leave because they thought he was.
I'm not sure if it's Smythe.
Bob
maybe.
Johnson.
Johnson.
But the GM got caught up in this. The guy, the interim GM that they named, he got caught up like somewhat in this whole scandal. I don't really know too much about it, but like they made him the interim GM. He was then suspended, and then yesterday they made him the GM. Like, they brought him back as the full GM title. They basically brought him back from leave and took the interim tag off all in one day. And I was like, man, he must have gotten fucked pretty hard. Somebody must have been lying about him, you know?
That's where you high-five your wife and say, whoop.
Yeah, sure, yeah, exactly.
And your girlfriend.
Yesterday, I was never going to work in the NFL again. Today, I'm the GM of the Carolina Panthers. So, but I mean, you look at these prices for these teams. It's the same. It's the same fucking. You know who fucked it was when Ballmer bought the Clippers from Donald Sterling. Or that was the biggest. Like, he overpaid for that franchise, and every owner's now like,
it's looking like every NFL club is worth $1.6 billion.
Yeah,
or more.
Or
they're it was like there's only like 10 that are less than $2 billion, but 1.6 is as low as they go. It's really fucking gross.
Think about that return on investment for the Carolina's owner.
Right.
Dude,
Yep.
he probably. I think he played in the. He was one of the only owners that's ever. Him and there's one other owner that played in the NFL.
All right.
And he basically he took the money that they gave him because he wanted to resign, but he took his signing bonus because he didn't feel like they were giving him enough money. Went home and started a restaurant chain, and then turned that. It was so basically $10 turned into the Carolina Panthers because he would through the course of life, it's kind of one of those things where you start with one thing and you see what it ends up with bartering.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But
95 is when they started.
Yeah.
When he got
You
it.
talking about the Tony Romo's restaurant?
What? Tony Romo's restaurant?
You ever been to Tony Romo's?
No.
It's a barbecue joint.
What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus Christ, chicken.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
You got to work
But-
tonight?
Yes, I do.
Are you going to work tomorrow?
Yes, I do.
All right. So
And
and
then
Saturday?
next day.
All
Yep.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun life.
Mhm.
Fun life. So.
But what
you
what
gonna
are the top
join us?
free agents we got over there?
Oh, all right. Let me open
Are we
the-
done? Or?
No, it's
Do we go
just
through 'em
getting
The premium guys. you
Yeah,
know.
right. Well, Malcolm Butler, that's pretty fucking obvious. He's going somewhere.
Where does he go, though?
Jets.
You think?
Jets or Buffalo. I
Yeah?
think Jets Buffalo. I think he stays in the division.
No shit.
I think he stays in the
Oh,
division.
yeah, to really fuck him?
Yeah.
That'd probably be his best bet.
And I think those guys are going to be the ones that pony up the most money.
Yeah. I mean,
You know?
the Jets
Well,
have money and
but
they
that's
need
the thing.
secondary help.
Or
Jets do need secondary. Buffalo's pretty good,
or
but Jets probably need him more.
Yeah, Jets need more.
or he goes to Seattle. Seattle's got to start rebuilding
They're
their
aging D.
The, yeah, they're old D. Yeah,
They're saggy D.
the Legion of Gloom. So I think he might go out to Buffalo or stay in the division or Seattle.
I would love him in New York. I mean,
Possible.
it would that makes sense too. I really didn't even consider him. I with the Jets, that's a good place to start. And the rebuilds that the Jets have had, the first one McKagan did really started from the cornerback position. So I mean, and the Jets have two young safeties that they drafted last year in the draft, first and second round. So I mean, he makes sense. He makes sense to put a little leadership out there, and they've still got one or two good cornerbacks. I mean, you know who else who had a pretty good year with the Jets too, and he got his show me contract
Forte?
with the Jets. No, is Morris Claiborne. The cornerback, he left Dallas and he did all right in Dallas, and then he came over to New York and he got that 1-year contract that we were talking about.
Yeah, Forte he is on one of these lists here. I got Forte is a free agent, but
And he's gone.
yeah, he's a $3 million cap.
Because
You know where he's going then? New
Where?
England.
I think he retires.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
he-
yeah, you're right.
You
New
bring him
England's-
to New England, oh my God, he researches his career.
Do you know who I
Easily.
think the Jets replace him with?
He is perfect in New England just
think so
because of
too.
that offense.
He would be, yeah. Do you know who I think the Jets replace him with? Is Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde's a free agent.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think San Fran's gonna resign?
I don't think so.
Who they got though?
I think they just go another route. I think they might go the young route. I don't know who it is, but I know that he really he kind of not fell out of graces there, but really wasn't premium back there toward the end of the season.
See, I like New England for Forte because of he doesn't have to be the number one guy there. I mean,
Sure.
they use their running backs
Right.
a little differently, but coming out of the backfield, being able to take passes from Brady and just being that leader again.
Yeah,
that we talked about.
it makes perfect sense. I'm going through this list and I'm seeing names of guys who are in final year of their contract and gonna Jonathan Stewart with the Panthers.
Yeah.
He's a $3.7 million cap hit. He's likely to get let go.
If he gets let go, if he gets re-signed, it's as a backup.
Well, a guy
Yeah.
like Jonathan Stewart, what he's going to probably do is if he wants to still play, is Jonathan Stewart, there's no other landing spot for him. I don't think.
XFL.
He is, no kid. I think Jonathan Stewart is the guy that,
Yeah, but he ain't gonna make it 3 years till they start.
if they can talk him into it in Carolina, just say, hey, come back. Let's restructure this deal. Let's give you a signing bonus. That's how the NFL gets around a lot of the money problems with the
Yeah.
salary cap. They turn money into signing bonus.
Yeah.
So let's say we'll give you this money as a signing bonus. Come back, help McCaffrey. Help McCaffrey build. We'll get you your touches. You'll carry the ball 10, 12 times a game, and you'll be a leader. But if you don't want to, hey, move on. You're not gonna be able to move on. You're gonna have to retire this probably.
Right.
You think so? You don't think he'll take second string money?
Yeah,
It's not one of those guys that he has to be the starter. I mean, he shared the backfield with DeAndre Williams.
Sure.
and I don't think
think
Shared his load.
I don't think he commands it. I also don't think that there's really another team that's going to be like, wow, we really, really have a need for this guy.
I disagree. I mean, I think he's one of those guys that
The Jets.
you don't think about him. You don't think about him at all, right?
shot.
You're like, Jonathan Stewart, who the fuck is, and then he like runs 100 yards on you and
Yeah,
gets like
sure.
2
Right.
touchdowns, and you're like, where the fuck did this guy? I'm like, so I think as a backup, there's a solid need for him, like someplace like Green Bay. Like it needs a solid backup running back. Bring him over to, like you said, San Fran. If they're trying to move away from Carlos Hyde, he might be that bridge running back. To like if you got a younger, faster, speedier guy they pick up as a rookie, you got a guy that
He. I think we can agree that he's into that teaching role now.
Well, I was going to
He's
say
into
even
that-
a guy just to mold the young player.
Yeah, he's into that role where he's not gonna, you aren't gonna send him out there and ask him to run Kareem Hunt numbers. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna go out there and he's gonna get, like I said, 10 to 12 carries a game and run for 40, 50 yards and bust one in for you, at the end and
the
be good.
Bust one out. Whatever.
Steelers are another team that'll take a chance on older running backs in that capacity.
Yeah, if Le'Veon goes, what the fuck does Pittsburgh do? Jeez.
They got a kid backing him up that's pretty good. He was I forgot his name now.
Yeah, I can't think of it either, but I know
But
you're talking about.
I think he was a rookie and really good. But
Oh, it's John Connor, the kid from Pitt. He went to Pitt.
Terminator.
Yeah, him.
Oh.
That's his nickname.
That's why
by the
that
way.
guy could never catch him. He's
That's
fucking fast
his
as hell.
nickname. So. He's the one who got cancer at.
He
Pitt,
outran a
and then-
T1000. You have no idea.
I have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Go watch the Terminator movies, dude. Start
Yeah.
with the first one. It was the best.
I might paint the wall too.
The first one is definitely the best, though.
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie comes up on the list.
He's definitely not-
$6.5 million cap hit. He's not signing with the Giants
No,
again.
no, not after all that bullshit.
No, I think they let him go too.
Yeah.
I think they have to let him go.
Yep.
And where does he end up?
I don't know. I mean, he would be that guy that would go like Miami or something like that.
Yeah, he's an older one.
Yeah, I can't see him going to a team like Cleveland. Cleveland's trying to do like a youth movement.
Yeah.
I could see him maybe going like Arizona,
Sure.
someplace like that.
Well, I mean, that's Vontae Davis, the wide receiver from Indianapolis, the Colts. He's pretty good. He's been really good last year. He was a number 1 down in Miami for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on the circuit, going out and talking to teams and a lot of he went to Cleveland, he went to San Fran, and he went to Buffalo so far. Those are teams I guess that are saying that hey, we're a little bit needy at the secondary position. So, maybe he makes sense with one of those teams too. Go to San Francisco. He's from the West Coast, I think, Cromartie. So
I think Cromartie's at this stage of his career where he needs a good number 2 or number 1.
yeah,
He needs to take a good number 2.
I think I need to take a good number.
But he needs somebody that he's not the number 1 guy.
yeah.
Like a couple years ago, reminds me of played for the Bears, Porter.
Oh, yeah.
Porter.
Yeah.
Porter was like
Refused to tackle Porter?
he was a number 1 years ago. Then when he played with the Bears, he was supposed to be a number 2, number 3. And then due to injuries, he became the number 1, and he just got burnt like every freaking play.
Yep.
Yeah. True.
So, and I think Cromartie's on that tail end, just kind of like Revis is. Maybe it is a Kansas City type of team that or Raiders.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're looking for that leadership or whatever. But he didn't show that leadership last year, so who knows?
Yeah. That's
yeah.
good. That's a great
You know
point.
what? Speaking of, just quick before we head out, Doug Martin, fucking running back, was released by the Buccaneers
Yeah.
the other day. I totally forgot about that.
Like I said,
Always
I don't,
hurt.
I don't see Doug Martin playing in the NFL again.
Done.
Too much talent.
I think he's done. I think he's done. He's had off the field. He's had a drinking problem. He's been hurt too much.
Drinking problem. We can all work.
Yeah,
through
but you
that.
put him on a team like Indy.
Look at me. I got a great
Hey,
show.
that's a good call, Mike. That's a good call.
Put him on a team like
I mean-
Indy, with somebody else. Maybe Indy takes him and Jonathan Stewart. Because, I mean, really, you're losing Gore.
Yeah.
And well, I don't know if you're losing Gore, but he's old as shit right now. and
Right.
He's not really doing it. But you put Indy and you do that youth movement. Not
even
youth, but you put more talent behind the backfield.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think
might be Doug Martin's second chance.
Right.
Yeah.
And he I think it also takes him out of he's from Florida, Doug Martin, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or he's from some down, because I know one of the problems that Doug Martin had too was his kind of entourage or his posse that he rolls with was had a bad effect on him, obviously, down there. So I think that's one thing that maybe going to someplace like Indy to get away would be good,
I can see Indy, Green Bay, all these
that's not a bad call, Mike. I mean, Indy makes sense to me.
It
you
does.
know, if
Right.
with a new offensive coordinator,
You get well, new coach.
You know,
All right.
a new
I'm
coach.
gonna write it down.
staff.
Mike says Doug Martin to Indy.
Frank Reich.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank Reich might find a good use for him.
Yeah,
he knows how
fun.
to.
I like it. I kind of given up on him. I just didn't. You know, I think it's that evaluation that we were talking about earlier too. That character. You know, what are we getting here? But hey, I mean, hey, shit, let's see it.
Yep.
So.
All right, guys, we're gonna finish up here, but I do want to remind people that you know, tomorrow I will be on Back Talk 11 to 1 with Tommy Drama, and we will be talking about the documentary that we're doing, Searching for Your Soul, where we will be sending our boy Todd out to Africa to do a live film of administrating the Abigail stuff, and
Shit.
I'm excited to hear right from Tucker's mouth exactly what we're gonna be looking at.
Yeah.
Shut up, John.
No, is Tucker is this something that like he kind of came to Todd with, or is this something
yes,
that he's
he brought it to us. He's actually did this, and you know, he's been on, you know, with Keeler and Genesee Joe, and
Sure.
did his interviews with them as well, and you know, he's been in here too. So, but this is something big that, you know, we're all really excited about, and like I said before, it affects everybody.
Yeah.
So we got a GoFundMe page. If anybody who's out there wants to help with this cause, you know, please donate. Every little bit helps. You know, we're looking to send these guys in May, so it's coming up quick.
Right.
So
really quick.
So we got to get the funding up, and once we do, I mean, this is going to help so many people.
Sure.
And
open a lot of eyes.
Absolutely, and that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
We need to get more of these discussions. So. Yeah, that'd be tomorrow from 11 to 1 on Disruption Networks. Tommy Drama, Back Talk. Hopefully I don't have to mute him too much and I don't fuck up too much. But
it's his show. You ain't supposed to mute him at all.
Yeah, but it's Tommy. Come on, are you crazy? But yeah, he sometimes he needs to be muted. But also we do have the Team Disruption Network on for the Heart Walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it anyways, so you might as well come and hang out with us and party and have a good time and do a good cause.
Yeah, and even if you're on other teams, carry on with that too. We'll see you down
Absolutely.
there.
We'll still have a beer with you.
Yeah.
But all right, folks, we'll be out of here. I'm going to work, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Hey, it's Adeline Van Dyke from Coldwell Banker Faith Properties in Utica. I always get asked, why do I love real estate? It's very simple. I love my clients. I love every single thing about helping them find or sell their home. Making sure the home is solid and ready for sale, or solid and ready for the buyer's inspection, to making sure that they're getting the best rate on their mortgage, making sure they're getting the best price on their house. You know, just everything involved in the sale is vital. My absolute favorite part of real estate is when a buyer walks into the house they're going to buy. I can feel it before they even know they're loving the house. It's just that obvious. So I'd love to experience that feeling with you. So give me a call. Adeline Van Dyke, Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-404-6431. Or you can find me on Facebook or visit my website at centralnewyork.com/Adeline. Thank you, and I look forward to welcoming you home.
When it's your hard-earned money on the line that you are investing into a home, it makes sense to choose a proven professional to assist you in making one of the biggest investments you may ever make. Josh's dedication of over 20 years to the home construction industry allows him to bring knowledge and experience to your doorstep. That means you can feel confident and comfortable with his service to you. Past clients love his attention to detail and thorough written reports. By allowing Priceless Inspections to help you make a well-informed decision concerning your property, you will find that a quality inspection is priceless. Follow Priceless Inspections on Facebook or call 315-525-8725. In the Mohawk Valley, for the best real estate service, you gotta have faith. Coldwell Banker Faith Properties, 315-735-2222 or www.centralnyhomes.com.